played Xenoblade Chronicles X was on launch night, December 2015, so it's been a minute. Hey, thank you, Darkstar. Appreciate that. It's a bad case of numbers. I'm going to summarize what I know about the game here shortly. So we can Miiverse is no longer available. Miiverse features are unavailable. You will no longer be able to use Blade reports.
Appreciate that.
Okay. So I went ahead and I watched the VOD from December 2015 of this game to kind of catch myself up. I thought about restarting the game, but I feel like there's enough going on in those first 2 hours to be nice to just kind of move along from it and actually get to the meat of the game today. So I made notes during the VOD, and I'm going to try to go over them to get myself back in the mode of playing this game and remembering what the hell is happening. So, the way this game starts is it's set in our universe, so Earth is a planet, right? And the people of Earth were invaded by 2 alien races that were trying to basically exterminate all the humans. So they escaped on this giant ship called the White Whale, Holy Grail, and the humans were really weak compared to the aliens. Like, they're like babies. I think there's a cutscene that described them. The xenoforms are screwing them up. You learned Earth is a planet. I know, right? It's got that over Pluto, at least. It's a planet in this universe, I guess is what I meant to say. Like, if you play Xenoblade Chronicles, that doesn't take place on Earth. It takes place on a giant robot monster thing. So anyway, we fled. We landed on an alien planet we didn't know anything about. We had a big ship called the Lifehold, which had a bunch of people in storage. I guess the main people on the ship were like essential personnel only, and basically everybody from Earth was in this Lifehold, and it broke up when they landed on the planet, and there's pieces of it all over the place that they have to recover. So we need to go find all these people. My character was actually a really cool opening. The game opened with me being woken up. I was in like a lone stasis pod. I didn't know anything about this planet or what was going on. It was a really good, like, Luke Skywalker, you don't know anything about this reality, so we have to inform you kind of opening. They're like looking around the world and finding other people to wake up in their pods, and that's who my character is. It's a silent protagonist, unlike Shulk. Makes some decisions and that sort of thing. Let's see, what else? The indigenous life forms are called indigens, which is kind of neat. This character named Elma is the one who woke me up. I think she's in my party right now. She's super important. The city that they built is called New Los Angeles. I think is what it might even be called that in the Japanese version, who knows. It has 4 districts: an industrial district, a commercial district, a residential district, and an administrative district. We've joined Blade, which is a fucking acronym because the Japanese love English acronyms, and specifically the Xeno developers love English acronyms. It stands for Builders of a Legacy After the Destruction of Earth. They like built it as an alternate government agency that mostly has military soldiers. They're trying to get shit together, build things, go fight monsters, find the Lifehold, I think is their main mission. Let's see, what else? There's these tyrants in the world that are like notorious monsters. There's these big boss enemies. They're very dangerous. Sometimes they send Blade to fight them. And we try to bury probes out in the field to keep the indigens from destroying them. So let's explore around, try to remember how to play this game. We might do some main quest stuff, but I just want to remember the controls. I love the world in this game. It's really gorgeous. Hey, thanks, this name is lame. Awesome. Appreciate that, dude. Let's see, can I see what level I am? Because I feel like, if I remember correctly, level is the most important thing in determining your capabilities. Level 7? Alright, 6. So we can take enemies at around that level. That's just loot, and you pick it up automatically, which is fantastic. Now, I don't think I ever got an answer, because I was playing this on launch night, so nobody knew how the game worked. But there's like a little green circle that fills up on an ability when it's off cooldown. And I'm wondering if that gives you a reward for waiting to use the ability for a while. I'm not super clear on how it works. We can topple, which makes everything do extra damage to stuff. We want to do that when possible. Infuriate taunts the enemies, so we don't want to do that too much. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Yes, please. I would like to know how that works. Should be better. As always, keep me apprised of the game volume. If it's too loud, I'd like to know. I don't remember if this game has a combat pause. Yeah, how's science treating you, Andrea? Conference is still going pretty well. Lynn is getting her butt kicked right now, but I don't think I have any healing. Bonus damage from the side. Let's see. That might be what switches my weapon over. Flicks. There's the topple. Boost evasion continually restores HP. Should probably keep that up as much as possible. Added secondary effect or bonus damage. It only applies that if you let the circle fill all the way. Is that correct? I'm not super clear how that B button thing works either. It seems like it's a bonus, but just try to keep my shield boost up here. I can't hit enemies from the side, presumably, when I'm by myself. I'm getting my ass kicked all of a sudden. Where the hell is Elma? I need her help. Stop sucking. Help me out here. Sliding Slinger. Topple. Heal myself some more here. So it looks like even leveled enemies are still kind of a threat to me right now, so I gotta be careful. Can't just run in and start fighting them. Positive correlation between moving a lot and number of citations. People cite your papers if you move from institution to institution. Huh. That's interesting. Because there's more exposure to them or something, Andrea? What's the reason for that? Take all. Inventory management was kind of a pain in the ass in Xenoblade Chronicles as well. You had a really large inventory, but it wasn't quite infinite. I'm hoping that's improved in this game. Weapons are weak right now. Alright, let's see if I can upgrade it later. Time management? Okay, so if I understand that correctly, this is a little house that I can sleep in to pass the time more quickly. Female Blade. East of here is Simius territory. They're smart and highly aggressive, so be careful. Avoid them entirely by looping to the south and following the coast. Yeah. Hey, Retro, it's groovin'. I really like the world map in this game. The jump feels really nice. It's like a low-gravity planet. Level 10 might be a little bit too high level for me to handle. Yeah, let's not screw with these guys. I'm trying to remember how you run away in this game. It might be just physically removing yourself from the enemy. I don't think your allies are smart enough not to do that. Oh, I can't loot stuff when I'm in combat? Alright, good to know. That's it. New LA, we don't want to mess around with that just yet. I want to see if I can find a giant creature. Holy shit, like that one, yeah. That's so cool. I'm really curious with the technology behind the giant creatures, like... They don't seem to be very affected by draw distance, so they must be doing something special. There are some enemies that pop into existence when you get close to them, but you can always see those big guys at a long distance. Can't loot if anything's aggroed. Okay, good to know. Guessing most of these guys are... Forget if they told me if there's like a color indicator as to if something is hostile or not. I think there's like an icon that tells you that a monster is hostile. Indigent rather, and they're just like local wildlife. This is a super cool setting though. I really like the idea of the humans have to flee Earth. Yeah, especially for the Wii U. Level 92. Does look like it aggroes. Maybe we don't want to screw with it. Level 16. Yeah, this place is way too high level. So I think I've got a feel for the movement controls again. I might try to fight one more lower level enemy. Very single player MMO like. Let's see what we can get. One more, like, lowish level enemy group, and then we'll try to progress the plot a bit. This game had a really, really long exposition sequence in about the first hour. Oh, fortunately, it didn't start with that. It opened with you getting woken up in your pod and then exploring the game world for a little bit. Got you intrigued, giant monkey monster. Oh, that was the thing it was warning us about before. Gotcha. I'm guessing the eyeball icon indicates the way that they can detect you, and the red means that they aggro. What are the reviews for Xenoblade Chronicles 2? I think I prefer this as a setting a little bit more. The fantasy setting of Xenoblade Chronicles is... I don't know, I prefer the more sci-fi fantasy of this. Level 8 might be pushing it, but it is a single enemy. I guess I can save before I try it. Does this game auto-save frequently? I forget. Nice, Leon. Yo. Do you topple on this thing? Use resist topple. Okay. Flame grenade would do extra damage against a toppled target, but he is not. It's currently aggroed on me. I'm wondering if the rules are similar in this game in Xenoblade Chronicles. Now's your chance to topple him. Okay. Which I don't have access to yet. Xenoblade Chronicles 1, it wasn't correct to play as a tank because the party members are really good at tanking and really shitty at DPS. So you wanted to let your NPC allies do the tanking. What does the B button press do? Just taunt. Save our skills here. Definitely not correct to just use your skills on cooldown. So there's like a preliminary status effect that makes an enemy more susceptible to topple. What's the name of that effect? And survival headset. 83. So like the concept in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 of like living on a giant organic robot was really cool. But like the other like the forest element was really cool, but the trees element I didn't care for as much, like the actual politics of these towns and the backstory of these people that live on this thing, the whole stuff with the Monado. Other than the, you know, the game mechanic of the Monado and being able to see the future was a really cool idea. The setting was awesome though. I'd love to see another game that's set there. There were a lot of cool concepts around. It's not a planet, it's not round, so what does that imply? Cute little level 5 farm animals. Alright, I'm gonna try to dive into this game's systems a little bit better this time. I just found helmets? Question mark. Collectibles. Oh my god, there's so many things on this list. Jeez. Oh, does this game have randomized loot with different like rarity tiers? Sell this item? No, I want to try to equip it. How does one do that? Party maybe? Ground gear. Oh, my kingdom for an optimized button. I don't think I'm gonna get one. Oh no. Equip strongest gear, thank God. Action cannot be reversed. Okay, sure. I think I only have the one thing anyway, so it's not a really big deal. Oh, and they have fashion slots in this game. That's good. I feel like if a game is able to support that, it totally should. It's not a terribly complex feature to add. Why don't they just and all that, but... In one it was break. X's break equivalent is stagger. Not required to stagger in order to get the topple. It does increase the chance of topple succeeding. Okay. So I have to rely on an ally using that. Is there any sort of display on the screen when break has been inflicted? Or do I kind of have to listen for the audio cue that someone says, okay, it's time to topple it? 4 out of 999. I like the seamless transition into the town. That's pretty sweet. Oh no, is that Spiky? That's like... That is my nightmare. My inventory nightmare. Something you can totally ignore and then suddenly have to worry really hard about. Yikes. At least won't be something we have to deal with for a while. I see the little map icon here. Okay. Blade Barracks. Let's do it. I was showing this off on launch night when we played it last in December 2015, and I got really anxious to go back and show off the game world, since we got into a really long story cutscene, so I think I bailed right in the middle of story cutscenes. We can progress them again here. I have a bunch of people popping in like, what's the Xenoblade Chronicles game? Like, oh, it's anime people talking.
Commander Vandham.
Well, now, look what the cat dragged in.
Sorry we missed you last time.
You did, Plaster.
We could have come to meet you at HQ, you know.
Indeed. I suggested as much. Twice.
Reminds me a lot of
You know how much I
Xenosaga
enjoy being told what to
character
do.
design.
Anyway,
Guessing it's the same person.
I hear you tangled with a tyrant, way out of your league, on a training mission, no less.
Yeah, we finished Tyrant as one of the boss monsters outside.
And goddamn magnificent.
100%ed it, wow. How many, was that 200 plus hours? Yeah, the take all requiring one input, not taking useless equipment requires 7. It's just a classic video game problem, right? Like, that's what we complain about all the time in Skyrim, is the input tax and the mental energy tax of deciding what to loot and what not to loot. It's not really a fun element of a game. It's a work element.
So, Commander, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit here today?
Well, I can't just ask Nagi to do everything.
It's a really pretty world, Virtual Heart. Didn't they bring on Monolith after this game to work on Breath of the Wild world?
Yeah, you won the bet. Don't worry.
The setting's
about it,
also
all right?
super cool.
I'll settle up with you later. You know I'm good for it.
The bet?
Complex but not deep.
I'm sure I'm needed elsewhere. If you'll all excuse me, Commander.
I could hear that.
Well, that wasn't obvious at all.
Huh. Look at you two. I swear, you're like two children excited about a new toy.
Look who's talking. I don't recall ever seeing you file a request to personally train a rescue before.
Is that so odd?
It is before we'd even asked her to become a blade.
Thank you for
Stick in
asking.
the rear.
Usually
I guess so.
ask
If it's
right away
abstract, you
with
can,
slang
if you type
expressions,
exclamation
but
point hide
tells
before
me
your
to just let
message,
that one
Void,
go.
you can share it with chat without me seeing it.
Enough
So you
about
can
that.
share what you
Where
wanted to
are
share with
manners
chat and
anyway?
see if they're down
I still
with
haven't been
putting
introduced
it
to
out
our
there.
new recruit here.
I'm interested to know how busted it is. That can be fun.
In a past life, I was
Yeah, I
chief
really like the
engineer
future
on the
prediction
White
mechanic.
Same idea, basically. Someone has a problem, I fix it.
White Whale is the
Follow?
ship they brought here from Earth.
Not much for conversation, are you?
So you still haven't told us why you're here. From the look of things, I'm guessing this isn't a social call.
Intentionally
You
busted.
don't think?
No. So let's cut the crap and get down to business.
Ha! Sounds like
Sure,
you're
you need
learning
somebody
my
to
expressions
permit
just
you.
fine, Elma. Anyway, first we need Chatty Cathy here to choose a division and pull an assignment.
They're making fun of me for not talking.
Pretty much everyone in New LA works for Blade, in one of several different fields. Helping to explore Mira or...
You can, you just spelled it
Dark
wrong,
City
Dark Star.
Well, you remember Nagi's speech, right? There are 8 different fields in all, and each one has its own branch within Blade. Officially,
So
they're
did
called
Leon.
divisions. Naturally, you'll want to choose one that best suits your personality and your talents.
Let's start with the Pathfinders.
Manual does a good job of explaining the game
Pathfinder's
mechanics.
number one
Yeah.
responsibility
We talked about that when we
is
first
planning
started
data
streaming it.
probes, like you did on your training mission. It may not be the sexiest job, but important? You bet your ass it's important.
So this is like this game's version of
We've only
crafting
been on Mira 2
gathering,
months. We don't
sort
know
of.
jack about this place. The more probes we install, the faster we can get our bearings here and give ourselves a fighting chance.
It only applies to people
We've
with less than
already
an hour
detailed
watched.
how important it is we expand the Frontier Nav network ASAP. So, for the time being, I'll just remind you of the highlights. It helps us keep Blade safe. It helps us keep the city safe. And most important of all, it's the key to locating the missing parts of the Lifehold and recovering the rest of the
Yeah,
human
the
race.
Lifehold was the big ship with all the people in stasis. It fell apart.
Okay.
Well, how they had to
next up,
remind us of this thing that happened minutes ago. I'm glad they just did because I haven't played the game for like 3 years.
Karina and Gwen, this is
2.5
their
years.
Interceptors have one main duty. Protect New LA and everyone in it from the wildlife here on Mira.
Combat.
Right now, this is probably our busiest division. Interceptors ride shotgun for the research eggheads. They escort VIPs around, and they help any other idiots who get caught out there with their pants down.
Next,
What were the
we
Blade
have
reports in the
Harriers.
Miiverse that we can't access anymore? What did
Remember
those
Doug
do?
Barrett, the Skell pilot conducting the test flight with Lynn? He's part of the Harriers. If you think of the Interceptors
Blade
as
reports?
defense, Harriers would be New LA's offense. They specialize in preemptive strikes on clear and obvious threats. But only on clear and obvious threats. They're not meant to go out and just blast any indigene that moves.
So like tyrants, basically.
And you got your reclaimers. These guys are in
Show
charge
the
of
same
finding
15
the other
uploaded messages
pieces
every
of
half
the
hour
White
forever.
Whale.
Wow.
Among other things, that is. Including anything of ours left behind after a battle.
I like the idea of trying to get
Skell
technology
debris,
back.
weapons, personal effects. It can get a bit morbid, frankly, but it's gotta be done. Until we're up and running here on Mira, and have this place completely figured out. Everything we brought from Earth needs to be treated like it's irreplaceable.
That's very reasonable.
Also, the
Plot makes a lot of
source
sense
life
in this
form,
game.
that's
It's kind of the same with
most
Xenosaga.
reclaimers.
Xenoblade felt
Next,
like...
Curators.
I'll wait till this is over.
Curators are the first to scout ahead to unexplored territory, bringing back whatever samples they can get their hands on. Fruits, bugs, sticks and stones, you name it. It's not all picking berries, though. Being a curator also means being the first to encounter unknown indigens.
Next? All right, prospectors. Prospectors do, well, prospecting. They poke around, looking for minerals, resources, and whatnot. Things we
You want to
need
be a
for everyday
reclaimer
life here.
so far.
We
They'll
packed all
pick.
the essentials we could on the White Whale, but that won't last forever. We need to be able to replenish our water and fuel if we want to survive. And sooner or later, we're gonna have to figure out how to replace things from scratch. From the socket on a Skell's knee joint, right down to the frying pan in Lynn's kitchen. Without these guys busting their butts, we'd have no future to speak of.
This game and Xenosaga feel a lot less convoluted than Xenoblade Chronicles 1 is what I
All
was
of
going
our
to say.
ground gear and Skell weaponry is developed in conjunction with private arms manufacturers, or AMs.
I love their
Outfitters are Blade's way of supporting
abbreviations
these
and
AMs.
acronyms, man. It's funny.
They'll seek out anything that might inspire new weapon
Initialisms.
ideas, and even
The
assist
game.
with testing new prototypes.
Chatty party members and initialisms.
Finally, the mediators. These are the folks who keep everything hunky-dory with John and Joan Q public. Any problems a civvy
white
has,
picket fence.
they come to mediators. Fight with your neighbor, mediators. Lost cat, mediators.
That sounds miserable to me.
It's not a division
For a video game like
You
this.
need to be a jack of all trades and a people person.
You gotta be willing to do stupid
Someone
quests,
with
I'm
my charming
guessing.
personality,
Just one of the
probably
weakest
not
parts
the
of
best
Xenoblade
mediator.
Chronicles 1.
But if you got what it takes, it's a clutch role, keeping things cool on the home front.
All right, so I think that's all 8 divisions. Any idea which one you'd like to join? Don't fret about
Sure.
it too much. Whichever you choose, you still have a lot of freedom in how you
To 100%
operate.
this, can you join every division and do all the quests for them?
Mediators can still get out there and mix it up, hunt
95%
indigents,
side
whatever.
content.
And if a harrier wants to take a break and settle an argument, that's their prerogative too. To be honest, even though it's sort of frowned upon, you can actually change your division whenever you like.
And some completionist is going to
So
do
there's
that
really
repeatedly.
no reason to stress about this.
Hey Namaku, how you doing?
All right, you ready to choose?
Yeah, let's do it. Has to explain the divisions again. Let's not do that.
Yeah, and we're on pins and needles here.
How you earn Blade XP. Oh, they give you a support effect. Retrieving White Whale wreckage, planting data probes, defeating tyrants, defeating enemies, completing missions. That's cool. Defense support, mining resources, discovering locations. Prospector's kind of a... I think this is still the exploration one. I want to explore this game a lot, so... Mediators are bad for that. TP support. Like, I'd like to get XP for exploring the game, basically. Like, going around the map and finding things. Collectibles, tyrants, critical master. Prospectors keeps giving you passive XP forever whenever you set up mining points. So the mining points just keep mining even when you're not physically there. I could see doing that over reclaimers. Picking up random crap on the ground. Yeah, I like picking up random crap on the ground too. Especially if it matters for some reason. Let's go curators then. It's less sexy than reclaimers or prospectors. And that'll be something to run around and be excited about stuff that's outside. And I said you can change whenever you want, right?
Then it's settled?
All right.
Give you a lot of chances to back out for something they said is no big deal. You can switch whenever you want.
Yada yada. You're officially a blade.
Hey.
Congrats, and welcome.
I know you're gonna do great.
Something about breaking legacy of Earth after the destruction of Earth. Goofy.
Now for the job. Let's get down to brass tacks.
Brass tacks. Let's do it.
Nelson's team has gone missing. Last contact we had, they were installing a data probe out in eastern Primordia. Then, nothing.
Nelson. Pathfinders, right?
Prospectors were
Are we
impossible to
talking
beat
indigents
because they were
or what?
constantly generating it.
Your guess is as good as mine, but they did have a Skell with them.
Skell,
Think
that's
they could hold
the
their own, or at
mobile
least
suit
run away.
Gundam mech things.
Alright, we're on it. We'll head to their last known location and go from there.
Report whatever you find ASAP.
Of course. Let's move out.
Roger that.
Hey, playing the game. Sounds good. Hey, Ludofx, what's groovin'? How you doing? Eleanor's advice. You're officially a Blade now. Becoming one of us grants you access to a variety of services, including the shop terminal, the AM terminal, mission control, and more. Some services are still off limits, but I'll get back to you later. Hey, fast travel! Instantly return to significant landmarks. Okay. We just were short of unlocking that last session. I think I was complaining about not getting it early enough. Head to the AM terminal. I might actually want to do that. Get some cash. I need to remember how the... So the affinity chart is like the characters you play with and talk with, right? It gets better the more you play with them. And it's not just like characters in your party, it's other people that you talk to as well. Arts, let's see. Arts palette. Video games. I might have to actually... We've not learned this yet, so how do I go about learning new arts is the question. Maybe murdering everything? Yeah, that seems pretty straightforward. Let's try skills. You need to figure out the difference between skills and arts. And arts are powers you use in combat. I don't have access to any skills yet. Won't worry about it too much for now. It's really hard to read, right? It's so high resolution. It was like that. Remember that early problem with Xbox 360 games? I want to say it was Dead Rising. Now, what's the one about the photographer guy fighting in a mall? Anyway, if you didn't have an HD TV yet, if you still had a CRT, it was basically impossible to read the text in game. So we got Striker, Commando, and Enforcer. One of these is tank, one of them is DPS, and one of them is support. And one of the supports is like debuffs, and the other one is like healing. But I need to figure out what my party members are going to be and what they're good at before I choose a build. Because this game sort of depends and expects on the player reading the manual, which remarkably few games do anymore, I am going to suspend my usual rules about backseating and giving me information about the game. Like, if y'all want to just explain arts or explain skills or say the best way to progress with stuff right now in the early game, please go ahead and do so. It's not going to upset me. It's too much for me to sit and try to immerse myself into. You get a lot of party members. I'm sure it's even like when I played this last time on stream, I had my glasses on. We were still in California, so the game was on the TV, which was across the room. I was really struggling to read. At least now it's like right in front of my face. Don't remember a lot of it. Sure. Does the map show me? Do I not have a map option? Maybe Intel. Hey Retro, what's up? Map. Just in here. Follow on Miiverse. Rest in pieces. Probably turn off display headgear later. Well, I don't see, like, it doesn't seem like I have a full map, do I? Trying to find the AM facility. Oh, hey, the long search is over. Sweet. Manage AMs. Upgrade battle traits for your gear. How does that work? Oh, geez, wow, they give you a lot of customization options. Is it like Xenoblade Chronicles 1 that you don't really have to worry about it too much? Sakuraba Industries. Cool. They're not a galactic group. Simply equipping a piece of gear brings commercial success for the industry that it's so unnecessary to separate gear by Invest Miranium? Oh my god. Okay. It's a cool concept. Mira is the name of the planet we're on, so Miranium must be the like unobtainium special ore here. Develop new gear, engineer augments. I don't? Okay. Mega Man was saying that my gear was shitty. But I guess I won't stress about it for now. Let's just focus on the quests. If I struggle with something doesn't seem to be working, you guys want to give me tips, I will happily welcome them. Suggested side quests, that sort of thing. We're gonna really tone down the backseating rules for this game. In the meantime, though, I'm just gonna try to explore, find a bunch of those little items lying around. So I get bonus XP whenever I pick up a random shiny thing as a curator. I love the world running speed. Feels really good. I'm gonna get used to the floaty low gravity jump. Blade XP. What does that actually do? The Blade XP. Just walking over it is enough to unlock it. For now, I'm gonna mostly ignore the side quests. Like the little question marks on the map, but if there's one that's worth doing, let me know. I know you said that the game is like 95% side quest content. It's important, okay. This map is gorgeous, man. I can see why they brought Monolith on to help with Breath of the Wild. Do these collectibles on the map respawn? Or are there a finite number of them? Game is entirely too much shit. I get that just from looking at the menus. It's pretty intense. Need some radium deposit. Oh, I see. Oh, it's kind of cute. Tapping my arm. Neat. So what is installing these probes? Does it do anything for me? You just have to find all of them, basically? They do respawn? Okay. Try to avoid combat here. We're starting to get into higher level areas. Make sure I'm saving frequently, as I don't think it auto-saves that much. You need a specific pickup for a quest. There's a ridiculous table of where you find everything. Now, the collectible loot, is that also limited? Discovering landmarks is fun. Like, is it like 999 slots and then eventually I'm going to have to throw out a bunch of it without knowing which is which? That drove me absolutely bonkers in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Having almost but not quite unlimited inventory space. At some point I'm going to start getting to high-level aggro enemies and I'll run away from this zone. Big flying thing is really cool. General lack of bodies of liquids so far. Hey, we're back to like level 8 enemies. Handle these guys.
I'm attacking! Move in! Shadow strike!
Pull aggro off me, please.
Ready? Too bad!
Can you chain topple too?
Aim for the toppled enemy!
Oh, and there's a global cooldown too. Okay, good to know. Let me think how to ask this question. So there's a lot of MMOs where like targeting is fixed. It really doesn't care about your distance from the enemy. Like, if the let me taunt this thing off of Lynn. If an enemy has targeted you, it doesn't matter where you physically are, they can hit you. But is this game configured in such a way that if I like jump or move away from the enemy, they can potentially miss hits on me because I'm too far? Does movement matter in combat, or should I play it like an MMO and just stand still all the time? What I mean to ask.
I'll start rings at range. Follow my heart inside. Shadow strike.
Slit Edge is what switches to my melee weapon. Okay. Trying to look for the break status effect whenever it gets applied here. Not really any dodging. The reason you move around is to get like side hits and back attacks, right? Oh god. Just got one shot. Finish him off, guys. Good god. They will not res me ever when I'm down. So like if they don't kill the boss within 20 seconds, we just lose. Come on, guys. You're so close. Good job, team. Proud of you. She got a level up, but I didn't get any loot that time. It's interesting. Maybe it was for reasons independent from me dying. What does the break effect look like? Is it that pink icon that was on the enemy there? I guess I can try to look at my party members' abilities. A second. Realm, Shadow Runner, deals damage from behind, critical power, range combos, inflicts stagger. Shadow Strike. Okay. So she's kind of like a rogue character. She's almost more like Shulk. I guess if I hear her yell Shadow Strike, then I know I can use Topple. All the random bullshit loot. It's a Collectopedia thing where you can fill in the items you find. Okay, cool. I like stuff like that. I think that Guild Wars 2 might have my favorite treatment of inventory in any game. There's a really huge chunk of items that are just tracked in a locker. If you have collectibles in your inventory, you just do a one-press button that deposits all collectibles into it. They did it with the wardrobe too, like they had a little library for every possible skin you could obtain. You found it once, you put it in the skin locker, and you had it forever. Infinite space in a box to put shit in. Yeah, I can hear that. I think that the navigation of the Dark Souls inventory could be a little bit better. But as far as like limitations go, 100%. It also has the best encumbrance system. I like that encumbrance is a specific choice that deals with equipment only. It has nothing to do with the items that are in your inventory. It's literally just, of the things that you have, what are you using? And then here's your trade-off for it. There's a specific cost. I think there was a cutscene earlier where they said I don't take falling damage, but I'm not 100% sure if that's true. I feel like falling damage would be stressful in a game like this. I want to cross this gulf here. We're about to find out. Nope, no falling damage. Do you have any explanation for why? Yeah, Dark Souls 2. See name but not icon. Go in the inventory and see icons but not names. How much can I Skyrim this? You need 3k TP to res somebody? Okay. So they will res you if they're able to afford it. Does your max TP go up at all in this game? I'm kind of surprised they don't let you take control. Like, do you only ever control the main character in this game, or can you directly control party members like you could in Xenoblade Chronicles 1? Right, yeah. Superhero landing. It's a good way to avoid fall damage. Fall damage isn't fun. I guess I can think of a couple games where it can be interesting, but in a game like this, it would just be irritating to track. As I've said before, my rule is your mechanic has to have one or more of the following three things. It either has to have an interesting cost that's not just time spent, which fall damage is usually a time cost, right? It's just we'll just walk around. It has to involve an interesting choice that isn't choosing to spend time, or it has to have an interesting challenge. And in a lot of cases, things like fall damage have none of those three things. It's appropriate in a multiplayer game. Like, I think fall damage is correct in a game like Fortnite. Something you have to be really careful about. It informs your sneaking around the map. Main character can do everything your party members can. Okay, so you can't control the AI ever, but it's not like Shulk, who's like a rogue character you can respec. Is this a similar game mechanically where the party members are really good at tanking, so it's kind of stupid to build the main character as a tank? Trying to figure out what the AI is worse at. Like, if they're really bad at healing, I'll build healer. If they're really bad at DPS, I'll build DPS. There's an alternative safe route and a high upper. The fall damage is okay because it's low guaranteed damage versus high risk. Yeah, it can be interesting if you have ways to mitigate the fall damage. It was interesting in something like Deus Ex because it was a progression choice you had to make. The game very rarely puts you in a situation where you really needed to fall somewhere. It was almost like a locked door in that game. Like, there wasn't... It's not like this game where there's long falls virtually everywhere, so your likelihood of accidentally taking fall damages would be very high if it existed. Something like Deus Ex, though, the level design is pretty sleek and pretty horizontal. It's not very vertical like this one, so you would never accidentally take fall damage in a game like that. Looks like I gotta go across the... What happens if I go in the water? How far in the water it lets me go. It's cool, there's like sea monsters out here. Oh, I can swim pretty quickly too. That's cool. Right arm. Is this game going to expect that I grind on random world mobs at some point? Or gain XP from questing? Probably. Xenoblade Chronicles totally did. Player can do sick DPS, okay. Good to know. I just need to run along this side of the valley here. So I've never really seen in a game before. The camera in this game is floaty, for lack of a better term. I've never experienced a camera like this in a game. It feels like there's like a slight delay from when I press the right stick and when it processes. It's not like unplayable, but maybe it's on purpose. Like, maybe it has to do with rendering the world. Like, they don't want me to be able to spin the camera too fast, you know? Hey, it's the Pathfinders. They're the one that let me pass time, right? Can't 100% rush the main story. Oh, it's not my intent, but I know, like, the experience kind of demands that you do some dicking around. You have 3393 with 500 blocked. That's room. You get passive income forever from probes. Well, I'm excited to explore anyway. I might change back to Prospector, or change over to Prospector. That seems really fun. Does the minimap include like a potential probe location, or does it only mark them after you place them? You kind of just have to see them in the world. Whoa, climbing walls. Feels pretty good. Find better probes than random chests. I do like the typing. It's kind of cool. It's very simple, but it's neat. The map on the tablet screen shows you probe spots. I don't even see that. So I'm in Primordia. Don't need to get a capture Wii U gamepad capture card just for this game. It's nothing particularly exciting. So the map is split up into little hexagons, and the probes are all equally spaced from each other. So it's basically telling me that there's a probe in one of these hexes that I haven't triggered yet. Okay, I think I understand. Thank you. But it doesn't tell me specifically where it is, right? Field skill is insufficient. Oh god, okay. Field skill just goes up as a result of interacting with the wreckage like that? Uses your chest gathering levels.
I knew we would have heard from them by now.
It was definitely fighting something. But this damage, it's not the usual claw or bite marks.
No signs of the team. If they were eaten, we'd know it. So did they walk away, or were they taken? Right. Either way, they couldn't have gotten very far. Let's keep looking.
It's alright. It's got a little bit
Hold
too
up,
much
check this
crust,
out.
I guess.
I'm picking up an Earth-based IFF signal coming from that direction. It's Pathfinder.
That thing over there, maybe?
It doesn't do a very good job of
Doesn't look
gating
natural, does
the
it?
game to you. Just kind of
No, it
like,
doesn't.
here's 100,000 things. Try to figure out what matters.
Look at this. I'm picking up readings for other life forms too. Multiple signals.
Yeah,
moving
not a
around
lot
inside
of not a lot of
structure.
meat.
Elma, you don't think?
I think you're right. Look at their movements.
Intelligent
They're
life
controlled,
forms.
orderly. They're definitely not wild animals. Now the question is, are
It's
they
kind of like
native
people
to
will make
Mira,
complaints about theme
or
park
are they
MMOs,
visitors
right?
like us?
They
And
have a
if
lot
so,
of
from where?
stuff to do, but not a lot of substance.
You think
It's still really
one of
cool.
the
Like, it's a
forces that
gorgeous
destroyed
world
Earth?
and definitely qualifies as an awesome
Let's
game.
not jump to any conclusions. It's a big universe out there. Of course, we shouldn't rule it out either.
Should we call this into HQ?
Yes, but not from here. If we're picking up their signals, they might be close enough to intercept ours.
You there. Drop your weapons.
What?
Stay calm. We don't want to provoke them.
Earth aliens. Surrender.
We
No.
are Earth aliens.
They know about Earth? You may have been right after all, Lynn.
Ooh. Let's try and negotiate.
What are you doing?
It's okay, Lynn. Just stand down. I'm not sure why, but somehow they're able to communicate.
I think you can have this level of crust in a game and do a better job of gating it from the player.
Roger that.
Or give you options to decide whether you want it to be
We come
gated or
in
not.
peace, and we're willing to negotiate. If you have
But
any
locking it all
Alien
behind the
prisoners,
manual
we'd
is
ask
not
the
a great
conditions
idea.
For their release. If you don't, we'll leave you in peace.
No negotiation. No conditions. We have our orders.
A game like Breath of the Wild has about 30 minutes of gating, but it only has like 4 mechanics that then they explore all the design space and complexity of those simple mechanics. So complexity arises from simplicity, whereas this game, I think complexity arises from complexity, right? And it doesn't really result in a lot of depth. It's just lots and lots of options with not really going into big detail about how those different options work with each other. It's cool world building hidden in the side quests. I love the world in this game. Like, the setting is super cool. I love the whole sci-fi we had to run them from Earth thing. I've done a pretty good job of explaining it too. Like, at about 2 hours into 2 or 3 hours into Xenoblade Chronicles 1, I couldn't really tell you what the hell was going on, but they've done a really good job in this game of like getting me up to speed on the setting, who the main characters are, what the humans are doing here, what their history is, what their concerns are. They've managed to pick a few really simple things. So it's interesting, it's mechanically really complex. The video game element is more complex than it needs to be, but the story is actually pretty straightforward, which is kind of the opposite of Xenoblade Chronicles 1. The story was super convoluted, and the gameplay didn't have much to it. The prompts are really important. I think that's to the game's benefit. Oh, it heals you when you land that. That's cool. What triggers them to appear? They just pop up during combat every so often?
So much for the diplomatic approach. What's the deal with wanting us all dead anyway?
Yeah, I wonder. They did mention they were following orders. Maybe someone higher up their chain of command would be willing to negotiate.
Cool. There are natives on this planet of Mira. Soul Voice? God. Could be name. Hey, it's a big flying guy. Seen him around for a while. Not worth trying to mess with. Okay. Yeah, if you guys can help me to pick out the meteor bits of game from the crust, I'd appreciate that. Like, if something actually is kind of cool, especially side quests. If there's an interesting side quest that has cool lore, go ahead and tell me to check it out. If there's a system that's too complicated for its own good, I'll just ignore it unless told otherwise. Prompts come from Soul Voice. Okay.
Seems to be originating from that building over there.
We better get moving. There's no time to lose.
Character will make a suggestion that will hopefully get followed up by a different character. What? So the AI companions, it's random whether they follow your suggestions or not? That's bizarre. And I'm guessing the likelihood that they'll follow your suggestion is a function of your affinity with the characters. Hey, if you're new to the stream, I'm Marstead. I'm trying to beat every awesome game ever made. I believe there's so many awesome games that it's impossible for any one person to play them all, let alone beat them all. But that is job security for me. If you'd like to see a list of the games we played so far, you can go to games.marstead.com. To see how you can vote for the next awesome game, head to vote.marstead.com. If you're just lurking, hanging out in the background, totally cool. This is a zero obligation channel. Welcome. It's good to have you. Yeah, but like, the character's just randomly making a suggestion, right? It's not, I'm not getting to choose one, I'm just pressing B and then they're picking something from there. Yeah, the new God of War sounds really cool. I like Norse mythology a lot better than Greek mythology. I never actually beat any of the original 3 God of War games, so that will eventually be a blind series playthrough for me. So how does me pressing a B button generate a suggestion that's not random? So those are the sorts of triggers like critical hits. Okay. Hey, friend.
Look who's joined us.
Is there any kind of advantage to triggering combat yourself versus letting an enemy detect you and being forced into combat, or does it not really matter?
Ready? Two back. Flame grenade.
I think I'm gonna follow Spiky's suggestion and not screw with it.
Sliding slinger. Side flash. I'm ready.
Level up.
Teague.
I think even my cooking got better.
So we're near to our objective here. I don't think I have an easy way of getting up top of this thing though, do I? Keep looking around. Let me spot you, you're stunned for a while. Right on. Soul Voice is a replacement for the Monado. It's way worse. Yeah, that's too bad. The Monado concept was really cool, both as an idea and in mechanical execution. I thought, maybe make that jump. What's a speedrun for this game like? Does it involve a lot of janky movement tech to like get up places by very specific jumps like this one? Maybe I can't. Okay. So not a lot of people want to speedrun a 100-hour game, but must be the way. Maybe try using this bridge if I can find a way up on top of it. Someone must have done it, right? It's like one of those, if it exists, somebody speedruns it. World record is 5 hours? Holy crap, that's actually pretty fast. Can't get up there to jump higher either. Yes, yes.
Ready? Two back.
Is there any kind of on-screen indicator of, figure out how to ask my question here.
Aim for the top left.
Is there an on-screen indicator for... Shoot. Yeah, I forgot what my question was so well. I got distracted during the combat here. Shadow Strike. Oh, that was Stagger, which then we need to topple after Shadow Strike. Okay. Main story is really short. It's really easy to power level. Hit cooldowns and see if you win. Yeah, that feels right so far. Maybe try to do your rotation. There's not like attacks to dodge or mechanics to perform. Oh, so that one's like 4%? That seems like it'd be a more interesting run. Like, why bother actually going to all the trouble of grinding, which isn't fun to watch, I'm sure, or fun to do for the streamer. Difference in DPS doing topple and topple damage versus just spamming cooldowns is really significant, it looks like. We meet these guys and start murdering them immediately. I guess they attacked us the first time we saw them. There's our stagger. Very nice. Pit flashing arts. Oh, for sure. No. I mean, people will watch anything. Or what's the, How did they do that? Was it just, like, fighting, Titus, Selfie, and Waka over and over, and Riku? That's pretty wild. Somebody did that with, like, grinding to max level on the starter island, like, Pandaren Island in World of Warcraft just by gathering. Yo, what's up? That's one of those questions, though, is like, is customization worth it if there's no depth? Like, why would I bother making a crazy build if I can just press buttons without thinking about it and win easily?
They're all dead.
That's awesome, Spiky.
You killed them all. In cold blood.
How do you know it was in cold blood?
Smile upon them today.
Nelson.
These space moblins are dicks.
Filthy Earth aliens do not belong on this planet.
I'm kind of shocked. Like, we've been here for a long time now, right? We've got a whole giant city with a commerce district and white picket fences. We're just now running into the space moblins.
Now it is time for you to
For Xenoblade, they do a skip to a late game secret area to get to level 50.
Hello.
How does that get them to level 50 so fast, Blaster?
I am called Elma, and I command.
Because they can't
this
fight
squad.
anything, right? Or does the skip automatically set you to a minimum level?
We crash landed here after our ship was damaged in an attack by unknown adversaries.
I remember Xenoblade, like, you can't handle anything that's even a couple
We're hoping
levels
we can
higher than you.
negotiate a peaceful settlement in exchange for our friends, but
peaceful settlement. Your words are wasted.
How long have they been here? I was under the impression that it was at least like a couple years before the main character got woken up. Or minimum like 6 months. They've talked about months before.
right. We tried. Looks like survival of the fittest. it
Secret
is.
areas give a ton of XP. Oh, like level adjusted
Find
XP?
them.
So it gives you a ton of
Seeing
XP
as
for
you
a
know
level
they come
50
from Earth.
character. But it's enough to
I'm
boot
guessing
you
there's
up.
a good chance we might have a score to settle with you anyway.
Pretty sure a character said months, but
This can't be
Early bird.
I missed that one entirely. Whoops. Oh, I meant to do topple first. Whoops. Now his stagger's gone. Womp womp.
Heal me. This is
These
where
guys are pretty buff. It's because we're fighting 3 of them at once and it's troubling. Why can I suddenly not select skills? Weird. Maybe we're meant to lose this one, or we're meant to grind more before we come in here.
Oh, guys, take it from.
That sounds right, Blaster. So what's the death penalty in this game? This is the first time we've wiped. Sets me back a little bit. I think that's how it was in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, right? Okay. So we gotta grind a bit. I think that everybody is high enough level. Let's see. Yeah, we're like even level, but I guess that 3 level 8s can't take on 3 level 8s, so try to grind up a little bit, because yes, this is a bonus stream. You can check the Google group. There's a bonus stream for Jackson's thread that I post every week. Let you know when they're coming up, which games. Pretty mild. Okay. Probably go into that area and start trying to plug through a bunch of dudes. Now, why did it send me so far back? I feel like this, is it based on your probes as your respawn points? We should find more probes then, maybe. So there's 2 hexes to the east. I'll try to do that. Xenosaga. There's not a most likely. Like, there's a thread that literally says when they're going to be scheduled, so. I'll send you the last landmark. Try to find the probe over here. It just tells you whether one exists in a space, not exactly where it is. Nothing else is a landmark, though. Like, getting to the enemy castle didn't count as a landmark. Can we see the big red beam? Like, I assume that it needed to pop in. It had to be a certain distance from it to be able to see it. Oh, okay. So it's pretty far. Stupid. Some of them are inaccessible. Do you have any way of knowing if a probe in a given area is inaccessible? Because I mean, I'll approach it like I did with Breath of the Wild, where we just opened the game by getting all of the towers. I'd be happy to just explore around and get as many probes as possible so we can warp everywhere later. And exploration is fun. Tend to be out of the way. We're gonna go do probes for a while then. Like exploring and triggering them. Need a mechanical skill level. What progresses your skill level again? That's an enemy. How possible is it to stealth around the map around high-level aggro enemies? Like, do you have any chance of avoiding damage? Oh, it's that big monkey guy. Maybe not screw with him. Blade XP. Hey, slightly higher level versions of the enemies I've already fought. Of course. Do you lose anything at all other than time when you party wipe? Like, do you lose any XP or money? I don't think so, right? Just didn't win and you gotta go attempt the thing again. So there should be one in this area. I might not be close enough to it yet to be able to see the red beam. Oh wow, it becomes nighttime pretty suddenly. It's funny. Basically, it's like within the normal draw distance range, I guess. So the Collectopedia, hey, that's my group. See, that frees my question. If I move items to the Collectopedia, it removes it from my normal inventory so that it's not taking up space unnecessarily. Is that true?
Yeah.
I already found Nelson, but for the plot to progress, even though I died and figured out what was happening, I have to go back in that room and kill those 3 guys. That's funny. I do like that their dialogue just kind of pops when you're close to them. It's cool.
Oh, hey!
Okay, collectible inventory is not an issue, it's just... so you... It's rewarding you for finding 1 copy of every item in the game at once. So the little map tells me I'm in a hexagon now that should have probe location. Let's see a red beam for it. Once you go over 99 well, it makes solid. Okay. So only have to worry about weapons and armor, but the main pickups aren't a big deal. That's good. I did have to worry about the shitty random pickups in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, and that was like hell on earth for me, the way they handled it. Especially with all these quests that would sometimes require them, so you couldn't just like freely sell everything. Yeah, I don't think there's any way for me to get it to you guys, right? It's exclusively on the gamepad. It's actually kind of, I'm trying to think of other Wii U games that have really, really important information that's only visible on the gamepad. I feel like a lot of them went for the, let's put it on the screen too, just in case. Or make it an option. I don't even think there's like a button I can press to display it on the screen briefly. Try to think if there's other ones that would ever warrant getting a gamepad capture card, like maybe for when we actually, this game wins the vote. See how expensive it is. Could use, if it's like sub a couple $100, I could maybe use April Fool's funds for that. That's X. Hey, that's pretty cool. That's neat. What do battle points do? Cool. I don't think you're allowed to use a Pro Controller for this game. There are games where you can. Somebody do me a quick favor and Google Wii U gamepad capture card. Just let me know roughly how much it costs. That sounds pretty miserable. So you can't use the Pro Controller. There's another one. This is fun. I'm enjoying finding as many of the probes as we can. Because we can fast travel back to any of these probe locations, right? No, Manic, I wasn't speaking literally. I'm saying that it's such a hassle to use the Pro Controller because you have to switch repeatedly with the gamepad that you basically shouldn't do it. Yeah, this is pretty fun. I enjoyed this in Breath of the Wild too, just looking for all the towers. Put a cross subtitle to make sure there was no confusion. Yeah, I know they do that a lot. Japan likes cross as a subtitle, right? Like they did that with Monster Hunter as well, I think. Alright, so we got another one that's southwest of here. Let's do that. Yellow squares in the minimap. Yeah, that's the Reclaimer stuff, right? Like pieces of the white whale that fell apart. Brawl in Japan was cross. I didn't know that. Right on. That's confusing sometimes. Like Mega Man X is not Mega Man 10. I think there's actually a Penny Arcade comic about that. There's actually a separate game now called Mega Man 10. Yeah, we're talking about the Japanese titles, Deathlaga. X. Oh, it was Smash Brothers X? That's funny. Ekusu? Ekusu and the Kurosu. It wouldn't even be E, because I don't really. Well, I guess you could have E as a sound. Kurosu. Try to watch for him. A is not a sound, like the A sound in gravel. Well, that's also not really a common sound in a lot of English dialects either. It's pretty American. Yeah, it's Monster Hunter Double Cross, right? The XX is how you're supposed to say it. Yeah, we're just talking about X's use as a subtitle. It's popular in Japanese games, especially in Japan side. Sometimes they change it when it's localized in the West for exactly that reason. Confusing. Field skill insufficient. So I have no way of, like... Is there any way that I can put notes on the gamepad map? Because I'd love to mark that I don't have a sufficient mechanical level to upgrade that. It says it needs to be mechanical level 3, and you said I can spend Blade XP on that? Is that something I can do right now? Yeah, I really like the feeling of the map movement and the jumping is really good. I think that everything to do with the map and running around and exploring is great. The battle is kind of unnecessarily complex, and the game just seems like it has way too many systems. It's not that it has too much to do, because there's no such thing, right? Like, it would be great to make a game that gives you a lot of stuff to do, but I guess there's not a lot of depth to the things that you're allowed to do. Like, I'm guessing the side quests in this are of the tier of Xenoblade Chronicles 1 side quests, where the vast majority of them are collect 7 bear asses, right? Like, kind of see the matrix pretty quickly. I'm in chapter 3 right now. Just go back to town. Okay. Well, I'll keep running around. I'm getting Blade XP by getting up these collectibles as a curator, right? So try to check out all the locations on the map. Tiers of side quests. To be fair to video games, it's really hard to do side quests in a way that's interesting. It's also really hard to do like a large volume of side quests in a way that's interesting. It kind of defaults to your 7 or 8 elemental side quest designs. Go kill the thing, go collect the thing, go talk to the person. Thank you very much, Plaster. 218 Ryukatsukiri? Alright, that's not so bad. Yeah, so let's do that. I'll go ahead and order that after we play today. There might be a couple other Wii U games where that becomes valuable. And we don't play Wii U games with great frequency, but if they ever pop up again... Find a way to display both of them, or the game is still visible. It might be kind of challenging to get them both on screen all the time. Works okay with the 3DS because of the difference in the screen aspect ratio, but I think they're both the same aspect ratio, so getting two 16:9 screens and have an overlay might make it really hard to see the game, unless if I made the gamepad screen super duper tiny. I'll think about it. Whoa, that's pretty cool. We're going to... There's another probe due south of us here. You got 100% is defined by completing the objective of every hex on the map. Ah, okay. That's good. It's interesting to think about different games having different 100% tiers, right? Like, I would say if you got all 120 shrines in Breath of the Wild, excuse me, that you 100%ed that game, it's like different different degrees of infinity, right? Like, Infinity and Infinity times 2 are both infinities, but Infinity times 2 is a larger infinity. Same with completionist playthroughs of games. I would argue that most games have an interesting completionist objective, like Shrines in Breath of the Wild, and progressively less interesting additional objectives like, whoa, those are enemies. Alright, well they're like level 8, we can fight them. That's cool. Nice. Koroks, and then like getting all the chests would probably be the lowest tier. The least interesting. Infinity Cross 2 over 356 days. No, what you need to do, Serp, you have to have a game that has both Cross and X. Ekusu Cross. Such chatty party members. Good God. Hey. So some of the B press things are a little bit more aggressively timed. I think sort of the one that triggers after a toggle is a little bit harder to land. Hey, Cappy, what's grooving? I'm pretty sure there's a TV Tropes article that's on all of the hackneyed like subtitles for movies and video games. Origins is definitely on there. Field skill insufficient. How do I increase field skill? Is it just by interacting with yellow boxes? This is around where we saw the beam. Use that art, it's powered up.
I'll start things in range. Follow my lead. Now, melee attack. Ready? Too bad.
Oh, is that what the slowdown means?
Flame grenade.
I missed the timing on that one, bummer. Okay, I can apply that armor to allies, that's good to know. Okay, so I can try to do both field skill and mechanical skill to be able to equip all that stuff. I forget, can I like freely switch between my gun and my weapon, or do I have to use skills to do that? Super Title 64 advance.
Spectacularly done. Nice work.
Sweet. Alright, so I should be able to warp here later, right? So, we want to go back to town. There's a fast travel button somewhere on here. What, really? Man, it really is a single-player MMO, isn't it?
Oh dear. I am so sorry. Hello. Let's make this count. Outstanding.
It's interesting that she has all these voice-acted lines, but she doesn't, like, that only you can control in combat. That's weird. Alright. Let's go to fast travel. I got an Achievo for fast travel. I wonder if this game will get re-released on the Switch. Did it do very well in the West? I don't remember what kind of reviews it got. I mean, we played it on launch, so... What I want to know now is if there's a really easy way for me to get to Do you guys know what district I have to go to raise my blade level? Is it the... I'm looking at the screen here. I've got industrial, commercial, residential, administrative, blade barracks, maybe? That would make sense. Customization. What? Seriously? Oh my god. This is what I mean by this game having way too much shit going on. Like, what is their deal? Alright, right on. Whatever. It's like, who cares, man? It's like, it's a single player game. Yeah, it's kind of more like Xenosaga in a lot of ways, right, Cappy? You go to the base, there's a terminal to the left, on the opposite side of the road. Okay, looking out. Come on. Oh, squad missions are the online, and you can't do those anymore because Miiverse is down? No, you must still be able to do some online stuff, right? Miiverse is separate from, like, the game servers. Passes time. Yeah, the lack of story is kind of a bummer because the setting here is really cool, Cappy. I dig it quite a bit. It's the joke in calling it a massively single-player offline game. So it's... There's a terminal to the left on the opposite side of the road. So one of these terminals, maybe? Undergoing maintenance. That must be the one right there, right?
Hey.
Oh wait, maybe this is it. Oh, this is the mission board. Nope, not fucking with that ever. Not in a bajillion years. Is it that one that says it's under maintenance? Alright, so I want to progress the story to unlock the ability to spend my blade XP, so let me try to work on that. So, map. Primordia. Just gonna do the quest here. Might have to fight some dudes to be able to handle it. Oh, there's an NPC next to it that lets you spend your points, so it's not a terminal? Okay, well, I'll do this quest really quick anyway, and I can work back after. Fight some of the dudes out here, try to get another level up. Let's see. We're all level 9, try to get to level 10 maybe.
I'll start things at range. One more attack. Success. Now move in. Now it's my turn. Split edge. Scream edge.
There's a topple. We can do a second topple. Which I gotta be a little bit faster with in the future. We can learn it. Now it has a little, like, explosion icon around it if you did the positional correctly, right? To reflect you did more damage. That one right there. Stagger, but I don't have any topple yet. What the burst means, okay. It's got world gathering, it's got a big open world, and it's got a bunch of unnecessary like character customization that nobody else can see. Cool. It's got bare-ass quests, minimal story, mostly side content. Yeah, Skyrim is also a massively single-player offline game. Single-player MMO. Yeah, I'm seeing the gear drop. I'm not super confident about the best ways to equip it. Guess I can always just pop in here every so often and do a equip strongest, right? I don't have to worry about it too much. Oh yeah, we're turning off display headgear. Glad they give you that as an option. We'll just do that then. Go back into the settings. So I don't have to save aggressively because there's not really a penalty for dying. I love it's a system setting along with like brightness and power down. Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Better than the junk that I'm carrying around with me. Sure. She looks good in a helmet. I know, it's like... It wouldn't be so bad if it was like so at odds with the rest of her gear. Does the main character get a center power later that's like on the level of complexity of the Monado? Thank you, sir. Humorous hyperbole. Generally, Manok, if you're puzzled about us saying something that's clearly incorrect, it's very likely we're making a humorous hyperbole. The game isn't literally unplayable with a Pro controller. It's just practically unplayable. Oh, that's cool. So if you just turn this little corner, there's level 45 enemies. Who are in overdrives, which are complicated. Yeah, I'm trying to remember, the Monado had a bunch of sub-abilities, right? Like there were some that responded to very specific status effects that you had to use. Flinch, I see, because it technically detected me first. He's not... There's stagger. One of these days I'll remember that there's a prompt after topple. Go. Survival specs. How we doing? No level ups yet, but I'm guessing, is that an XP meter? What are the two little icons next to their names there? The one is the level, is a little armor icon, and what's the purple one? Oh, I can fight this whole thing? Oh no, wait, there's another guy sitting on the roof. Yeah, that makes more sense than I thought it was. Maybe fight a solo guy.
I'm attacking. Move in.
The Alien Payload. I can't really get to him from here. Interesting.
Engaging. Lay down some fire.
Wait, I can hit him from here? Haha, that's funny. Change class. Level 10 is the maximum level, or...? No, are my party members stupid? Will they not come up here and join me to fight him? Because I don't think they can... I don't think they can ever stagger him if they're not up here. Sweets. He's still shooting him through the floor. It's funny. Next level of your base class, which isn't really a class. Okay. And can I change class trivially in the world map, or is it something that I can only do in town? That's really funny. Definitely designed for like big fights on the world map, right? Oh, Lynn died. Holy shit, I didn't even see that happen. So I got a shield there. Shield myself. There we go, Shadow Strike. Hey, I remembered for once. Missed it. Oh, I'm gonna die here. Because I'm... Ugh. Finish it off! You can do it! It's so close to being dead! I don't think it's gonna happen. She's not doing a lot of damage to it. Now she's up here. Jeez, Alma. Well, she might. She's got to actually get some hits off, though. If she was upstairs with me the whole time, I think we would have been okay. Oh, video games. Okay. So, it's party classes. Okay. Now it's only letting me pick one now because I was level 10 before. I think I want to do fancy stuff, actually. Oh, backslash. It seems like we need healing, right? I think that's what Enforcer eventually gets. Ally support arts. Yeah. Assuming that party members are bad at that. Oh, wow, it changes my whole... Okay, so I can get that up to rank 10 and then I can change it to something new again. We'll keep dicking around with it. So I probably need to change her gear settings here, right? Party, ground gear, submenu, strongest. Okay, didn't change anything. Huge beam damage. So now I need to look at what all my new abilities do, because I have pretty different stuff now, right? Where's that bridge? There it is. My intent here is to progress the story. I guess I can try fighting this guy again. Maybe everyone actually come upstairs with me. Okay, so I still have the little shield ability. Beam shotgun. Still have slit edge. I like having some kind of positional. I can't topple anymore. But my party members will topple occasionally, it looks like, right? I saw them do that earlier. So I had a bunch of abilities from the different classes in the base class to kind of give me an intro to what some of them do. I feel like I'm actually weaker now by having a different class. Is that true, or is this giving me kind of like stat benefits? This beam barrage does a decent amount of damage. Do I have any skills right now that count as an aura? I don't think I do I? No, I can't topple with this character. I don't have a topple ability. what I was saying.
This will be an honor.
Oh, I must have a party member that's able to provide an aura. Unless if chrome armor counts as one. Weaker until you get more skills. Okay. What causes your class level to go up? Just getting XP applies to your class as well sometimes. Are they still downstairs? Okay, they're here at least. Let's say. That's why they gave me a taunt early. It seemed like it was a weird skill because it didn't agree with my other abilities. I can't heal you. I don't have skills to do that yet. I could shield you maybe. Chrome armor her, but that's about it. I forget, is aggro basically random in this game outside of using a taunt skill? Or is it based on like raw damage dealt? This guy hits like a truck sometimes. Melee strikes. Okay. Get aggro back on you, dude. I mean, the enemy's attacking Elma instead of attacking me. It has to have some kind of aggro system, right? It's another very MMO-like feature. Okay. So if there's no taunt, they attack randomly. Come on, finish him off. He's so close. Oh, he hits me really hard, though. Nope, I'm dead. Video games. Giving me Xenoblade Chronicles 1 flashbacks, these specific kinds of deaths. Alright, well I don't think I can fight 3 level 8 enemies if I can't take on a single target that's only like a level higher than us. I'll keep grinding up these guys for now. Is it worth letting the little green circle fill up for extra damage rather than proccing these powers immediately when they become available? I guess the green on this one isn't continuing to fill. I should just use it now. Oh, but I got I guess my point was that I got much more quickly wrecked against the level 8 enemies than I did against the single level 11 guy. I could try it. I don't have anywhere to buy gear at the moment though, right? I have to do some kind of crafting shenanigan with the corporations. Yeah, I don't really know what causes certain skills to have the green circle fill around them and which ones don't. I can go back and check. It wasn't letting me do anything with the shop last time, unless if it's not the AM store, arms management or whatever. Green circle fills after they come at cooldown. Yeah, but I had some that weren't filling, which made me assume that there was more to it than that. trying to work back to commercial district. So, oh, maybe have I not been in the commercial district? Is it in the admin that I've been going to that shop? Hang on. Blade Tower, Armory Alley. How do I swap between ranged and melee arts other than to use a ranged or a melee weapon, like art? I start with one, and then once I switch once, it looks like it goes away after that. So this is the one that didn't let me buy anything. You're saying that this is a... oh, it's a separate store that's next to it. Okay. The NPC said something about going to AM to get gear, but I guess it's to craft gear. Ray gun and knife is what she currently uses with her current build. Oh man, this is pretty terrible. I don't have enough money. Why do these ones show as red? I'm guessing that means I can't equip them, because I can totally afford them. Well, most of them are not upgrades, so... Why can't I equip them, though, is my question. Level gated. So level does matter, because you need levels to equip better guns. Better gear. Nope, no real stat differences here. Gear wasn't my problem. That might make a little bit of a difference, maybe. Defense down, though. Range attack up. I'd love to do a, like, buy best gear and automatically equip. Elma, see what option she has. Left arm. You said I'm generating funds permanently for every probe that I find in the game, or is that only if you're a prospector? Cool costumes. Survival specs is an upgrade. You can do that. Let's do the body wear. Don't want to take the defense penalties here. Cool.
Hey.
All right. Let's go back. Try to fight these guys. We got a small amount of new gear. See if it makes enough of a difference to care. Okay. I'll try to progress the plot on those then. I do want to go around and hit up all the probes, but I want to be able to spend my blade XP so that I can actually activate all the probes, so... Try to unlock the ability to spend blade XP first. Zezian Fleawort. I'll try fighting this guy one more time. We keep getting him to within 5% of his health. And so far I feel like it's ally AI that's keeping us from winning. feel like the benefit of topple is more so not taking any incoming damage, more so than anything else. Getting some more skills for this class would be pretty nice too. Glad I have you guys in chat. I don't think I would have known about the whole... First of all, that I can change classes. Second of all, that I had reached the max level on my main class and was wasting XP by not switching. Like, does the game kind of give you a primer on classes like that? I feel like the first time you get to level 10, it should probably pop up and be like, hey, you should maybe change your class so that you're not wasting your time. Don't waste your life. Yeah. The game also has a global cooldown that's very MMO-like. I guess it does tell you there's side versus back. That's cute. I didn't notice that before. It's convenient. I think my favorite approach to that is probably Final Fantasy XIV, where there's a little circle around every enemy you're targeting that shows you the side attack versus front attack options. Yeah, it's bad design. Shouldn't be required to dig into a fucking... How big is this thing? Yeah. Nah. Not these days. You want to explain your game in the game. You don't want people to have to read a book first. Alright, let's go. One more try. We got some improved stats. Well, let's see. How close are we? Get Elmo one more level up. Might make a little bit of a difference. It's not really a damned if you do, damned if you don't. There's a way to do it right. Let's see. You can definitely have this volume of mechanics and not have them all be available at the very beginning of the game. Like, they've already done some gating in that respect, right? Hey, if you're new to the stream, I am Marstead. I'm trying to beat every awesome game ever made. I believe there's so many awesome games out there that it's impossible for any one person to play them all, let alone beat them. But that's job security for me. If you'd like to see a list of all the games we've played on stream so far, YouTube playlist, you can go to games.marstead.com. If you want to see how you can vote for the next awesome game, go to vote.marstead.com. Welcome. It's one of those situations where, like, if you're finding that you have too much complexity to be able to describe it organically without requiring the player to read a long manual at the get-go, maybe your game is too complex, right? I've definitely seen games that have a lot of depth and complexity manage to teach you how to play it without requiring you to read something long or have excessive 20-hour gating like Final Fantasy XIII, or have or treating the player like an idiot, like some games will do too. It's hard to do, but it can be done, and I think we can still judge games at how well they introduce mechanics, how much time they spend gating you, whether it's done well or done poorly. Nintendo's really good at that. They're good at teaching you, introducing things to you organically. Yeah. Expecting that I got rushed before you get tutorials, that makes a lot of sense. It's very difficult. I would prefer a lot of hidden depth from apparently simple mechanics over starting with something complex and then having it turn out to be really shallow by just giving you a lot of shallow options that aren't really all that different from each other. But if you're going to do the complex approach, it can be fun sometimes. It's just really hard to get right. And like, what's a game I've played that's ridiculously complex and is actually good because of its complexity, and it's not actually a drawback? I tend to use complexity as a naughty word. Oh man, this game's so cool, it's complex. Alright, let me think here. Found some new gear was the main thing I wanted to check. I don't think I have any new abilities to equip yet. It doesn't tell me when I get them, does it? Class I'm playing as with her is basically, was it Sharla from Xenoblade Chronicles 1? Path of Exile, okay. Yeah, I can see that. No, but Path of Exile is also a game where you, like, have to read a wiki to be able to play it, right? It's so overwhelming, there's no real way that you could figure it out completely on your own. And it's like stuff you can't recover from. You can make mistakes that you can't fix. Yo, how we doing on XP and levels? I want to get Lynn and the main character to level 10. Fight these guys. I was just able to handle 4 level 8s okay, so we might be okay doing the mission again. See how much XP I get from one of these fights here. Do you get really shitty XP from enemies that are lower level than you? You want to try to fight on level or slightly higher? I'm trying to remember what the math was in Xenoblade Chronicles. I mean, there was a very specific level tier that you wanted to fight to get the best like XP per minute of combat. Well, I guess complexity isn't really a it's not a binary feature of a game, right? It's not that a game is or isn't complex. It's a level of complexity. You can have games that are too simple, for sure. But I would say that simple isn't always a negative in my eyes. Or level 8, I don't remember. It looks like I'm not getting a lot of XP for fighting these guys. I'll try the boss one more time and then we'll just go into the quest and move along. We'll lead at the top of the stairs here. Alien scum. So are they also getting the little B button presses occasionally? Is that where they're making suggestions to me? I'm not really catching them when they happen, but... Alright, last try on this guy. At this point I have a...
Looks like we've got no choice.
Shit. Grudge against him. Come on guys, please actually climb up here and fight him this time. Keep going. Try to watch my skills as closely as I can here. Sweet. Nice. Very nice. Now, when I get that B button press, does that only heal the main character, or does it heal allies as well?
Yeah, we're on top of it now.
Alien Payload. Even the boss titles are very, it's very MMO sounding. Or like, Diablo even. They just drop off the ledge there? Oh my god. Hopefully they can still keep hitting it from down there. Oh my allies. Just missed it, bummer. And this is the difference of slightly stronger gear, I guess. So basically every time I go to town, I should stop by the gear shop and try to buy upgrades for everybody. What's the chance that I, like, find gear enough to stay upgraded? Is it mostly going to be I need to spend money on it in town type thing? Potential's a pretty OP stat. First try. Is green a higher rarity tier, or... Wait, where the helmet go? She's not showing in my party anymore. You do find a ton of gear? Okay. Maybe check every now and then, I guess. There she is. Well, let's see if the stuff I just got is an upgrade. May as well check. Didn't look like anything changed. Nothing. Nothing. What's the, what are the rarity tiers, like by color? There's a bridge over here that I can cross, right? That was the main reason I came up here in the first place. It's up this way. So it doesn't change the bear statistics, but it increases the number... Oh god, it's a level 45 enemy. That's the bridge I'm looking for. The bid for the voting system slot's going to end at midnight Pacific tonight, which is in about 9 hours. A little bit less than 9 hours. Sweet. I was a little early, I guess. No worries. It's cool. I'm guessing it's going to go higher than 500. Oh, I just noticed little XP I'm getting on my icon in the top right corner. That's cute. Because of some collectibles the enemy dropped, presumably. There's potentially unlimited growth from the prospector because the probes are always generating value for you. I might switch to that one. It's getting you the most Blade XP. Since that'll help me to explore more, which is my main goal here. Hey guys. Oh, they're just waiting for you here. It's funny. Ooh, I didn't know that was an AoE. It's cute. So this guy is like a boss, right? Let me try killing the ads first. Maybe that was the problem from before. He's a level 8 boss. Oh, I guess he's level 10. Okay. That was pretty different then. Don't got any auras. Use my cool AoE again. That was pretty sweet. That was pretty neat. Hey, I got a new skill. Removes debuffs and restores HP. Fantastic. Excited to have a heal. Oh, and it's an AoE party heal too. Even better. Looks like it has a long cooldown, but I don't know about that. Prospectors went out and you have dozens of probes. Okay. Later in the game, though, I can swap to it, and the existing probes I've already placed continue to work for me as a prospector. Is that right? Sweet. I did. I just saw a bunch of green health numbers after I procced it. I went to go heal someone specific. I didn't realize it was timing was the same.
Bent on killing all humans?
Kill all
Who can
humans.
say? Whatever the reason, this is dire news. We should let the others know ASAP. Let's call it in and head back to HQ for a full debrief.
Roger that. And here I just started to hope we'd finally escaped all this.
Escape! Yes, escape! Tatsu also want escape!
Oh no, we're gonna have a cute mascot character.
More Xenos? What should we do?
Stay back.
Really? Don't you realize she's a
What do you
whoever
think,
this
Brooke?
person is a cute. Open the crate. Come on, let's get on with it. It's a cute mascot character. What?
Oh my god. Oh my god! Although actually it was sort of obvious.
Finally, dance of freedom! Tatsu, thanks!
Are these the same weird creatures from Xenoblade
One of the
Chronicles?
vegetables is sentient.
They're similar looking. They're similar shape.
I wonder if it tastes different too. I know what we're having for dinner tonight. You don't know it yet, new girl, but I'm a pretty mean cook.
You are mean and cruel. Tatsu definitely not potato. Tatsu explained this to dumb and smelly prone when they take Tatsu. But
So this is the
Prone
most
never listen.
Xenoblade Chronicles-y
Prone
thing.
never listen. Oh, no
I guess they're like
problem.
Moogles.
Prone first said sticky feet
X
on
means
mirror,
sci-fi rather than
especially
fantasy.
Tatsu. Tatsu witnessed prone abuse firsthand. At this rate, entire Nopon race in danger. Yes, Nopon are endangered species. So really, friends have social responsibility to protect Tatsu from danger.
Uh-huh. What do you think, Elmo?
Mm-hmm.
Bake or fried?
Wait a minute. The beings who captured you, big brutes in armor, little pointy ears.
Yes, prone!
Well,
And
primary
they're more
difference between this game and
recent,
Xenoblade
is that
Chronicles 1 and
They're
2
not
is
native to
the
this
sci-fi
planet?
setting.
Not native, recent. If friends want more details, friends must promise to protect
Takes
Tatsu.
place in a
Only
Earth
then
future
will
rather than
Tatsu
a
come.
fantasy reality.
Right. Elma, you hold him. I'll feel.
Tatsu will talk!
Yeah, the X stands for we think the letter X looks cool. You're correct, Spiky.
So if I understand correctly, this is your homeworld. The Nopon people are native to Mira. And then
In this
most
setting.
recently, the Prone show up and quickly hunt you to the edge of extinction. Is that right?
Not just prone.
That's a Xenoblade thing I remember. Lots of recapping something we just did.
You mean other alien races?
Other hungry alien races. They all gang up on Nopon. They do horrible, terrible things to Nopon. Someday, Tatsu will turn tables and eat them for a change.
Reassure.
Then you'll help Tatsu? Protect Tatsu? Oh, happy day! It's settled then. In return, Tatsu will accompany friends back to their village.
What do you think? Take him with us?
He seems harmless enough. And he'd be a good source of information on Mira and the Prone. All right. We can debrief him when we report to Commander Vandham. As long as he passes the quarantine scan, we can bring him back to New LA.
Right. Let's get that out of the way. All clear.
Yay, past quarantine.
Tatsu can join friends? Dance of joy.
It's this kind of anime shit that just like, oh god.
I know. Tatsu has special thank you gifts for friends for saving Tatsu's life.
It's always so tone whiplashy too. It's like, oh my god, there's a hostile
It's not a
native
gift,
race
don't
on this
give it.
planet that's gonna kill us. Oh, but we just recruited a cute potato man.
Always for free? This would be insulting to friends and to Tatsu. No Nopon merchant worth his salt and pepper could do such a thing. Tatsu is grateful, but Tatsu not insane.
Anime.
It's insane to think if someone saves your life, you might actually show them some real... And he's not even listening.
Friend, do you ever get lost?
There's somebody
Tired,
out there.
broken maps,
There's
flawed
some
memory?
player that characters like this Tatsu character is written for that are just like barreling over, laughing, slapping their knee. Like, oh man, I love this guy. He's so great.
there is a better way. Friends, this is your lucky day.
Someone that does like fan art of potato people.
Presenting Follow Ball.
I'm super cynical when it comes to the cute, like, I like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 generally, but the Baby Groot stuff in it really, like, irritated me because it was so obviously placed. It was not an organic part of the story, right? It felt cool at the end of Guardians 1. Yeah, I like Moogles, but I feel like Moogles are just kind of there. Like, I'm trying to think, in Final Fantasy VI, you just run into the Moogles, and the game doesn't keep winking at you. Like, isn't this adorable? Don't you think this is adorable, right? And that's what rubbed me the wrong way about Guardians 2, was that you could have Baby Groot be a character, but you don't have to keep doing this fucking wink at the audience, like, don't you think this is cute? Or having characters say out loud, isn't he so cute? Shut the fuck up, just let him be cute, you know? Like, FF6, the Moogles show up, and they are immediately warriors that help you fight.
So much for Dance of Generosity.
I'd say it's a problem with both. Not a great character. Follow ball. Ugh. Okay. This is like a shows you the most efficient path clairvoyance thing to get to your current mission objective. That's kind of nice, actually. So it says there's loot in here. I didn't really like Riki either. You can do cute characters. I can't stand when the game is constantly like shoving it down your throat. Like, it's one of those, like, if I'm gonna like it, I'm just gonna like it. Like, you're not gonna have to try extra hard to get me to like it. You know what I mean? I think Baby Groot is the essence of that problem. The ideal type. Tries to show you the most efficient. Okay, so it can help you if you're stuck in a valley and don't know how to climb up without doing janky jumping. It's good to know. Alright, I think my most efficient action here is to go back to the Blade Barracks, so let me just do that real fast here. Yeah, let's take it. See if I can get to being able to spend my Blade XP so I can just run around the game world, explore, and hit as many probes as possible, is what I'd really like to do. Avoiding enemies on the map actually sounds kind of fun, too. Yo, what's up?
Damn, losing Nelson's team is a real blow. But the fact we're not the only visitors on this rock is even worse.
I'm bummed that this game has such a sparse main story, apparently, because the setting is really, really, really cool.
For all we know, they may be
I love the
related to
opening of
forces
it.
that destroyed Earth and followed us here.
Wonderful. I'll report this to Secretary Nagi. See if we can't bolster our defenses. Just one last thing. What the bloody hell is this dancing turnip doing here?
He's actually a potato.
Tatsu, not turnip or potato. For last time, Tatsu is not food. Now, on behalf of Planet Mira, Tatsu welcome all Earth people and offer a friendly treaty of friendship.
Yeah, right. Anyway, we were thinking he could be a good source of general intel about...
Hey Chaos, what's groovin'? How you doing?
Exactly how useful that'll be remains to be seen.
Oh, don't you worry about a thing. Friend's totally safe now that Tatsu is in town. Tatsu watch over and protect friends, especially weak, pathetic Lindley with her thin, bony wings.
You mean my arms? Look who's talking. And who said anything about you coming with us? You can stay here, you greedy, annoying little cabbage. I'm sure there's a salad here that could use you.
Tatsu stay here? Friends would leave Tatsu behind?
It's for the best. You said yourself your people are endangered, and the Xenos that captured you might still be out there.
We'll get to the
You'll be
Xenos.
safe here in the city.
Agreed.
Tatsu not agreed.
I wonder if fast travel was always in this game.
Tatsu along.
How so?
What? Well, that, of course. This planet have many helpful Nopon that Tatsu can talk to. Other Nopon can share information for friends.
His glasses are a little goofy too. Like I've seen that in a lot of anime,
Right. Most Nopon not like Tatsu.
but I've always
Nopon
interpreted that as being an
Nopon
abstraction
can
of them
be
being
difficult.
like
Most Nopon
weird,
never trust friends or even talk to friends. But Tatsu,
distant, nerdy
Nopon
characters.
love
But when you like
Tatsu.
actually take the concept art of a character that has the swirls in the glasses and render it in 3D, in a game that's otherwise, you know,
The tater tot
pretty
has-
straightforward looking in its art style.
Uh-huh. More like an ulterior motive, if you ask me.
Tatsu perish the thought. Tatsu intentions are pure, Linley. Pure as snow. Linley intimidated by Tatsu's strength and
I'm gonna run to the restroom and grab something to drink while Tatsu's talking. So you guys get Tatsu only and no Marstead. I'll be back in a few minutes. Be back.
Really not what I'm worried about here.
All right, then it's settled. Small Fry here will accompany you three out in the field. After all, we can use all the info we can get.
Seriously? We have to babysit this thing?
You're the ones who picked him up. Besides, would you really want to leave him with another team?
Maybe not. Unless we were invited to the meal, I mean.
See? Already getting along like peas and carrots. He can be your charge, Lynn.
Oh, come on, Commander! That's not funny! I've got my hands full out there! This is so unfair. Back me up here, would you, Elma?
I'm sure Elma has no objections.
Right. As you say, Commander.
Done and done. Welcome to Blade, Tater. We'll be counting on you.
Yes, sir! And it's a Tatsu. Oh, one thing Tatsu forgot to mention. Nopon are pacifists, so friends need to defend Tatsu, keep extra super safe in any battle. Tatsu VIP diplomat, after all.
Why am I not surprised? So much for him watching over and protecting us.
All right, I'm back. I'm actually surprised that the cutscene still isn't going. It's pretty good. I like it a lot, Chaos. It's cool you got it for $5. Yeah, we last played this. I was watching the VOD. I think you were there. At midnight on launch, although it was delayed by like an hour and a half when it was supposed to be available. We were still in California the last time we played this. December 2015. I'm really glad we didn't start it over. I don't think we
Feel
missed
like
too
you're
much.
starting to get the hang of things?
Yeah.
Of course you are. You've taken to it like a fish to water. Just like Elma and the Commander said you would.
Loud
Just
can
the
opening
same,
sound.
let's review the key points, and I can fill in some extra details. Blade's top priority right now is to secure missing pieces of the Lifehold.
Lifehold is a thing where all the people were in stasis.
Countless people are frozen in the Lifehold. It's the key to restore humanity.
This is so much better when you take a 2.5-year break.
Our biggest concern was that wild indigents would
The
steal
constant
the life
recapping of stuff that
damage
just
the
happened in anime actually pays
Now
off if
there's
you
a
haven't played the game
pressing
for
threat.
a while.
Intelligent alien races who are intentionally trying to destroy us. So, our search has new urgency. We need
Yeah, I like
to
us coming back and saying, hey, there's an intelligent alien race on this planet. They're sapient and they want to kick us off. Receive less attention from the military than, oh, there's a turnip monster.
We can install, the wider we can scan, and the faster
Yeah,
we
right,
can
Chaos?
to
Did
the
you get it new as well?
So our primary focus going forward.
I guess Walmart
is
doesn't sell
travel
used
around
games,
Mira
do they?
Installing data probes. As many as we can, as fast as we can. I can't stress enough how important this is. You still with me?
No.
Good. Then let's move on to the other pressing threat that Blade has to deal with. Hostile indigens. There's no real delicate way to put this.
We gotta go kill all the animals.
Any wildlife that poses a clear threat must be eliminated. The life
That's
holders
the
are
I'm sad that we have to
can't
murder
ignore the
dinosaurs
present.
face.
We still have our duty to keep New LA safe.
Nice. Living on that XKCD
Sometimes
schedule,
that duty
chaos.
requires enacting
Buy
coordinated
games a couple
strikes
years
to
after they
solve
come out.
problems before they can do real harm.
Speaking of Save the Animals, we're playing
Many of the
Metroid,
newcomers
Super
here,
Metroid
it's
this
true.
Friday. That's what
And they're
Leah
usually
asked
just
for
out to defend
Sublog.
their territory. But sometimes it really is them or us. And we have to make sure it's us. Don't get me wrong. It's not like we run out there and light up anything that moves. Only Blade HQ can choose targets. And they tend to keep them strictly to creatures that pose a significant threat to our survival.
I'm excited. I've only beaten Super Metroid like 3 or 4 times,
In order to
which is a
contribute
small
to this
number
cause,
compared to a lot of
operatives
the
are asked to
SNES
form
games I
into
played as a
squads
kid.
to take on special missions.
There's a good chance I'll get lost in it, but I feel people are familiar enough with that game that I can get some help. I think in an hour I probably won't get lost.
Rather, HQ transmits the details directly to all of us at the same time.
Indigen just means indigenous animals.
We want as many people to know about them ASAP.
I don't think they're using indigen to talk about the new alien, well not aliens, but the native sapient life forms we just met, the prone I think they're called. When the game first started, they just used indigen to mean the local flora and fauna.
That's why squads can have as many as 32 members.
And it's why we ask members to sign up to a squad beforehand. We can't have Blades playing musical chairs whenever this kind of emergency hits us.
Music is kind of okay.
But just remember, squad missions are not mandatory. You don't have to drop everything you're doing just to take one on.
I wonder if anyone even does them anymore. Are squad missions still possible without Miiverse?
Up to when these missions arise. If you're busy with something else, they'll
I'm
understand.
bummed all that Wii U stuff got shut down. You can't even do the Wii
You
U
need to
video
trust our
chat
collective
anymore.
judgment.
It was my favorite video chat
So
format.
far, so good.
And I think that about covers the basics, right?
That'd be pretty fast, Leon.
Search for the missing pieces of the life loop. Install data probes to expand Frontier Nav. And take on squad missions when you can to keep us safe. Got all that?
Mhm.
Good. We're counting on you.
And briefing adjourned. Thank God.
Tatsu didn't talk during that conversation, so that was nice.
All right. Well, it's getting pretty late, isn't it?
Yeah, and especially in a scene that's like very expositive, right? It's not like
Real bad.
someone is sacrificing themselves to save the party or something.
Show
Like,
Tatsu to his room now.
Oh,
spoke too
your
soon.
room is right over there.
The scene was actually longer. There was just a button I had to press in the middle of it to accept XP.
Wait, what?
It's a fridge.
Tatsu know what that is. That refrigerator. We'll go in
It
there
wasn't
and
as bad in the
look.
Japanese, so maybe they just kept the global volume of the dialogue low.
Smarter than you look.
Well, Tatsu's not one to brag, but
The Xenoblade Chronicles 1 had a lot of good music.
what Finley's did there.
You can do it, I just feel like an exposition sequence isn't a great time to do singing in the background. Alright. A hot temper joins up. Last year, Blade Adventure begins. The main story missions we undertaken to be the Blade Barracks. Remember that they come with specific requirements like level and survey rates. Bumbrook. Two new features of Blade reports, which we can't actually use because Miiverse is disabled. Blade Scout. Scout's how you get the crazy OP other characters. Edit greetings for squad missions. Oh, here's the thing about changing classes. So it must be right around now you get to level 10. Glad something pops up. I was worried that it wasn't going to. right in here. You're saying that even when the blade reports were working, they were kind of just a nuisance. They didn't really help very much. Let's do Lifehold squads. Yay, single player. Wow, this is a lot of pop-ups all in a row. I guess everything unlocks after that sequence, The Full Metal Jaguar. Irina. Gwyn. Holy shit. They're not fucking around with these pop-ups here. Guy looks like Goro. Screwin' bro. Okay, so how can I quickly get... Can I do it from in here? Put my party together here? Missions. Oh yeah, I remember those from Xenoblade Chronicles. Missions... Oh, there's a time limit for the squad mission? What the hell is that? Find the characters in town to add them to your party. And I have to get them to manually join me before I can start the story mission.
Need help with
Oh boy.
Stay sharp.
And then you have reserve. That's really weird. I feel like you could just be like, oh, you don't have the right party member. So we will automatically fill your party with these characters so that you can take this mission.
Okay.
How late in the game can you realistically start using Skells? Get up to 4, so it's one of those other characters maybe. Now, characters that can be recruited to your parties, their name looks different. It's like blue, is that right? Any version that includes all the cheat DLC, it sucks even with that. Oh, there's cheat DLC to make it easier to get affinity grinded up, and it's still hard? Wow. Let's see. Is this the kind of game where you want to be in your Skell for most of it? I'm guessing there are ground missions where you can't be. Main money sink. So one of the stations over here, maybe? No. I'm not. Please tell me. Level 10 is reserved for unstoppable powerhouses and masters of the field. I do know about the divisions, yep. Claim you'll hit level 10 in no time. Okay. So she got more affinity because I asked a question instead of boasting. Okay.
Wow. Congrats.
Did I ever get a pop-up that I got to Blade level 2? I didn't see that happen. Oh, furnishings. Great. Did the furnishings actually do stuff, or are they just for cosmetics? Do you only ever need mechanical skill to interact with the probes? Because I think that's the one I'd want to focus on for now. Forcing too many concepts on a blade at once can be overwhelming. Thanks, Xenoblade. It's almost worse that they know.
Which skill?
But there aren't probes that require something other than that, right?
Yes. Well.
Let's see if I can find my current blade level. Where does it display that? Not here. Oh god. Okay, I understand. These are different triggers that get the little B button pressed to pop up. Shows if you open the main menu. Blade level 2. It's the 1308 at the bottom. Okay, so every time I'm picking stuff up that's starting to go up a little bit, I'm gonna try to grind that and explore, and try to hit as many probes as I can. So let's do those things here. Start with the probes we haven't found yet. I like running around finding probes. I do a lot of that. So I think I'm going to get the capture Wii U gamepad capture card for games like this in the future. $200 is reasonable. It's about half of what we raised during the April Fool's stream, which is what I wanted to use that money for. And there might be another Wii U game where seeing the gamepad is really important. I might have to try to come up with a way to use it though. Like fitting two 16:9 game windows on one screen is going to be really hard. So what I might be able to do is make a chat command and a Stream Deck button to swap between the two of them, so if I'm looking at one actively I can swap to it. Or if people really want to see one, they can put in a command to have it pop up translucent for a little bit. Well, let's see, what are other Wii U exclusive games that are likely to remain Wii U exclusive? I guess there's this one, and this one's unlikely to ever get another port, right? I'd have to look at a list of Wii U exclusives. You're right though, there's not terribly many of them. The yellow one. Star Fox Zero is one we definitely play, I think, so I want to have it for that. Part of what I want to do with this channel is kind of have this, like, log of what it's actually like to play the games, and I don't like having something that's a pretty big deal to the way I'm playing this. I'm spending about half of my time running around on the map looking at the gamepad right now. So this is where I'd usually be displaying it a little translucent. Son of a bitch. Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I'll do a cost-benefit analysis. Sometime after stream, I'll look up a list of Wii U exclusive games and try to figure out which ones are awesome, that have the right Metacritic rating, and which ones have a mandatory screen element that doesn't display on screen in any other way. Yeah. Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Heard you guys talk about it before. Pretty stoked about having a heal. Also, the heal is technically it switches you to the melee weapon when you trigger it. That's interesting. I still should play games even if they're not my style. If they're awesome, we should play it. Try to... Let me see how much... Oh, I can keep this thing up. That's awesome. Right. Just curious if I can see how much blade level it gives me to pick these up. I can't loot stuff while this menu's open. 1574. So like 5? Okay, that's pretty reasonable. I can pick up. Weepstead would like it, yeah. It'll probably be Osu, Spiky, for Weepstead. For sure. Osu or Toho. I wasn't planning on drinking, but... I like kind of the lower right of the radar. Oh, thank you. Good looking out, Manok. That's exactly the information I wanted. That feels fun. I actually would kind of enjoy just running around the map grinding blade levels in this game. It's interesting that, like, exploration-based grinding doesn't bother me, but, like, going around and fighting the same enemy over and over does. It might just be because it's seeing new things as I do it. I'm running around, I'm opening up. One thing I really enjoy in games is making any form of permanent progress. So, an example is going to describe the way my mental dopamine loop works. Like, in Darkest Dungeon, a fairly recent patch added a thing that tracks whether you've tried to use an item with a curio before. It just says whether you did it, whether it worked or it didn't work. So suddenly I have this really great dopamine hit whenever I try an item with curio for the first time, even if it's obvious that it's not going to work, because now I know that I've made an element of permanent progress. I will always know forever, for the rest of the time I play that game, that that item does or doesn't work with the little icon that it adds. So that works really well in a game like this. Yeah, not a punishment. May need to endure it. I think I can probably enjoy Osu. I like rhythm games. I'm not gonna like the anime parts of it, but that'll be a fun thing to get really deep into. I still need to decide for Weepstead, like, how I can do it in a way that's gentle and not mean. It'll be really easy to be mean. Yeah. It's just the background, right? I've only really interacted with Osu when it shows up on the Reddit front page, like Cookie Z does something crazy. I never played Elite Beat Agents. We played a bunch of games like it when we went to that cool Japanese arcade in Columbus, Ohio. I told that story in Discord. I don't know if I ever talked about it on stream, so... Kat, Donovan, and Jaden from Columbus, right? I'm from Columbus, Andrea's from all over the place. She's like an Air Force brat. And... the world map is super pretty. I grew up really poor, kind of grew up in a shitty neighborhood. Wasn't quite the ghetto, but we had like a meth lab that was our neighbor. Kind of bad. And there's this really shitty mall in Columbus that's very blighted called Eastland Mall. Like, it used to be huge. There's a giant, one of the biggest parking lots I've ever seen for a mall ever, and it's just completely empty right now. And I guess they use the parking lot to, like, let people race fast cars because it's so huge and so empty. Anyway, when we visited Columbus in August of last year, Kat and Donovan were like, "You got to come to Eastland Mall." And I'm like, "Why would we go to Eastland Mall? Like, it's so blighted and dead. There's like a Spencer's Gifts and a mostly rundown cafeteria, and it's awful. It's a miserable place to be." And I said, "No, we totally have to go." So we go and we turn this corner, and there's this place called the Akiba Arcade, which just has a ton of Japanese arcade machines. Like, they had the table flipping game, which is really cool. They had the I forget, taiko drums game, bunch of rhythm games. It was super neat, and it's like tucked in this back corner of this shitty, practically abandoned mall. And I guess apparently they moved there because the rent was so cheap. It's a Japanese arcade in the middle of the ghetto. If you ever visit Columbus, Ohio for some reason, hit me up. I'll tell you where to go to check it out. You don't know any good beginner Osu maps because you haven't been a beginner for like 6 years. The game has changed. Do you think the game has like changed in support of more and more advanced players, Spikey? I've seen a lot of it's like Rock Band has definitely evolved in that direction. It's getting more and more focused on full comboing songs and getting gold stars, and it's less attractive to newbies. Study Pro ZD. I could do that. You don't want to shut out beginners who are still the majority of players at any given time. Gotcha. Yeah, that's people who make custom Rock Band Guitar Hero songs almost universally make expert only. They don't bother with the lower difficulties. It's a lot easier to convert difficulties for something like Rock Band because like expert is 1-to-1 to the real song, and then as you progress down difficulties you just start removing things from it, so it doesn't take all that much time to do. I don't know if Osu is basically the same idea. Field skill insufficient. Mechanical level 3, nice. That's right. Idaho. Robocall problem is getting really bad. I'm getting like 5 or 6 a day. Fortunately, most of them don't run during stream, but we might still be. Really? Are you serious? No, let's not do that. Holy shit, they called me 3 times in a row. Hold on, guys. Hi, this is Dylan. Oh, hey. I thought this was a robocall. I'm sorry. What's up? Hey guys, Andrea's in Columbus right now for a conference, and she left her phone in an Uber driver's car. She needs my help to get it back, so I'm gonna throw myself out in BRB for a few minutes. I'll try to add the time back on to the end of the stream. I appreciate y'all's patience. I'll be back soon. Alright, I'm back. I might get another call, but I think I've got her working on getting in contact with the Uber driver to get her stuff back. Let's get back to plan. Alright, we were working on finding all the probes here. Oh, hold on. Hey, what's up? A really elaborate Uber, right? Alright, I might get another call still, we'll see. See if we can find the probe that's out here. The long search is over. This one's already done, right? So we can find one more. To the northwest. Can we go that way? Whoa! That thing's gnarly looking. Cool. Hopefully it doesn't just aggro me. Oh my goodness. Hey, what's up? That's your phone number. Yes. Are you? Yep, bye. Sorry, everybody. She lost her phone, and she's got somebody else's phone that she called me with, which is why it was Andrea. And I'm trying to help her out here. How the hell do I get up there? Can Skells fly or something? That's really cool looking, though. Forgot about how, like, gorgeous this game can be. You spend a lot of time indoors there doing that last mission and watching cutscenes. It's a pretty good difference in locales, too. It's not just all big open green fields. Can't get that one yet. Okay, fair enough. It's reasonable. Will I know if, we gotta phrase this question. Oh god. We're gonna die. How do I phrase my question? Will I know the required score, like mechanical skill score for a probe that I interact with that's higher than a skill of 1? I'm just curious if I find one and I needed to have a skill of 2 to interact with, if the game's going to tell me or not. Well, that was quick. Let's return. Maybe don't run through the death cave. Nope. Oh, are the, there's a little color icon on each of the hexes on the world map. Does that indicate their difficulty? Hey, where was it? Oh, how'd you find it? Very nice. Thanks for confirming everything's okay. Yep, no problem, we'll do. Bye-bye. She found it. It fell out of her pocket and was in the middle of the street outside. The waiter overheard her trying to call Uber. And, they had the phone. Someone had brought it in and returned it. So yay! The saga of Andrea's missing phone is solved. Yeah, I was really worried about her losing it. People are nice. I know, right? I'm really glad someone didn't just, like, pick it up in the middle of the street and take it, right? Hey, if you're new to the stream, I'm Marstead. Phone finder extraordinaire. No. I'm trying to beat every awesome game ever made. There's so many awesome games out there that it's impossible for any one person to play them all, let alone beat them all. That's job security for me. If you'd like to see a list of the games we played so far, you can go to games.marstead.com. If you want to see how you can vote for the next awesome game, which I recommend, go to vote.marstead.com. And if you're just lurking, hanging out in the background, it's totally cool. This is a zero obligation channel. Welcome. It's good to have you. Oh no, I'm fine with getting one shot. That's cool. Like, it's preferable to having the world level scale around you. It gives you that neat feeling of, oh man, I gotta come back here later when I'm stronger. The only thing I don't like about it in Xenoblade is that the game is so dependent on level that it's like I physically cannot defeat that thing even if I tried really, really hard. But if it had a system like, I don't know, Tails or something where damage was avoidable, you could maybe fight it pretty early and just have a really hard time of it instead of it being mathematically impossible, which is what bums me out. What's with these squad member achievements that keep popping up? These are actual other characters? Yeah, like the Fell Reavers and Burning Crusade were really, really neat. Yeah, but how are they getting achievements when they're not in my party? Like, who are the squad members? Are they, like, not real people? I picked the single-player squad. That's why I'm puzzled. Oh, okay. So it's like, I don't want to mess around with finding specific people, so by picking that squad, it randomly assigned other real people. Does that do anything good for me, or is it just kind of for fun? That's what that shit is in the lower right. Is that always on the screen there? Like, does it benefit me to participate in those well? Am I screwing them over by not playing along with them? Hey, area discovered. It's a minor thing. Okay. This game seems to be very careful with its screen real estate, so it's interesting they devote so much to that. I like the idea of a game, like a single-player game that has an asynchronous multiplayer component like that. That's pretty cool. It's like Dark Souls. Oh, would you like to do? Okay, so you don't have to go out of your way to do them. Are the let's see, is there a theoretical limit to the size of the squad if it's adding people randomly to it? Like, someone was just added to it, which kind of blows my mind that someone's playing this game still. It feels like the kind of game where the hardcore folks would have, like, tapped it out. Hey. Really, to get that level 3 mechanical, it's gonna take a while. What are we doing? We're more than halfway there. Whoa, oh, we're living on a prayer. $32 people? Okay. Oh, sure, I am, but... like, it's like if I booted up, if I booted up Dark Souls 2 right now, like, sure, I'm playing it, but I wouldn't expect to get a lot of invasions and run into a lot of other players. Like you would when the game is launched, you know what I mean? That's why I'm surprised people are still joining it. Global Nemesis that has its HP tracked worldwide, it's kinda cool. Wait, I got way off track from this beacon. It's back over this way. I got excited exploring, picking up items. Yeah, people still play them for sure. Can I target? Okay, good. Where's this beacon? I can only ever know that there's one in the hex. I can't know specifically where in the hex it is, right? Until I see the beam. My flying thing. You're cool looking. Oh god, I almost fell off the edge there. That's pretty cool. So it only dies when everyone has done that. That's a really neat concept. I like that. I'd love to see games explore that more. It can be slightly outside the hex.
Ding 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 ding.
Thanks, Chaos. I don't think I can, oh, the stream timer. Thanks, dude. Looking out. Let's see how long ago I stopped it there. 5 minutes, maybe? He's talking about the how long to beat timer. Thank you. Saving my buns. I almost never stop it during stream anymore, and that's why. Let me double check the timestamp when I stopped here. It was more like 10 minutes. Do another 5 minutes. Yeah. I thought he was talking about the same thing at first. Like, why would he be mentioning the squad timer? Who cares? Oh. Yeah. Good looking out. I gotta find this beacon. There was one earlier that was inside of a cave. Maybe it's near the gray chest. I guess it could also be beneath this direct zone, too. You know, there's a much easier way for me to figure out what the time should be. I'm recording it for 3 hours and 5 minutes. We started at 2 hours and 5 minutes, so it should be 5:10. Leave me alone, Lawless Rex. I wish this game had a auto-run button. Drops aggro eventually, doesn't it? Presumably? Maybe? Oh my god. Well, I guess that answers my earlier question about being able to run from stuff. Hold up. And now. No, it does have auto run? Nice. Well, I can keep trying left stick with other things. It's not that button, it's not the target button. It's not the right stick. It's not the D-pad. It's not select. It's not start. It's not X. It's not A. It's not Y. It's not L2. You mind looking it up real quick? Someone mind looking it up real quick? Maybe this thing is below me, the beacon I'm looking for on this hex here. I feel like I've covered the hex pretty conclusively here. Is there a space underneath me? It would explain about the item down there. I guess I can always warp back up. I guess it could be above me too, technically, right? There's like a floating island thing up there. R&B. Thanks, Namaku. Looking out.
Move in now. While you still can.
Right. Dropping down might not be the best ideas. Let's see. There's a couple more to the west. I might just skip the one that I'm struggling with right now, since it might be up on that big, tall mountain that I can't reach. If it's not obvious, should I generally assume that I probably can't get to it? If I circle the zone and don't get the pop-up, try a different one. 2089. And you have to have a lot of probes running for the probes to really start giving you XP from Prospector, right? Like, this will probably outpace it right now. Yeah, we got the one that was in a cave. Couldn't get to that one. This is cool, like the area we're in right now is green hexes on the map. We had to move through a big line of red hexes and avoid enemies. Yeah. Nice roll. I'm just trying a different one now. I'll come back to it later. How do I interact with the Collectopedia thing? Is that Intel? Wait, I'm puzzled. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay. Went into info. Gotcha. Collectibles. I can sell them from in here, but they're probably... How do I register to the... Is it a separate option here? Can I register all items in the Collectopedia? Oh no. Or is this the way to do it? Alright, let's just knock it out. Lucky panel. That's such a Japanese game thing to do. There was something kind of like this in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, wasn't there? I remember getting bonuses for completing rows and stuff. Remind me, what do the battle points do? I don't know if I've interacted with those yet. I guess it'll be less, like, laborious once I've done it once, right? Gotten all the really easy stuff to find out of the way. Upgrading arts and skills. Are BP respecable? Are they refundable, or is it once spent, it's gone forever? Oh, that's everything? Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Wait, no, there's separate categories still. Oh, and these are different areas that I haven't visited yet. Okay, it's not so bad. Non-refundable, but there's a lot of it. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So since I have all this BP, I can probably spend it now. $110 battle points. Upgrade. Let's see. Oh, that is technically an aura. Huh. Oh wait, no, never mind, it's not. My bad. We use that a lot, so we can get upgrades to that. Brings the cooldown down. Yeah, oh man, that's a really significant difference. Sweet. My cooldown really low on these attacks. Gives us more stuff to do in combat. Okay, that's cool. All blue arts are auras. Self-only buffs. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was already... So I was trying to figure out earlier why sometimes I was getting the burst damage animation for some of my attacks on this class, and that was why, because I was triggering recuperate skill. So it seems like it's not terribly hard to get all classes to level 10. Like, that'll probably happen pretty early in the playthrough, right? I may as well try all of them out and not really pick one to stick with until they're all at 10. I'm still looking in this hex for a probe location beacon. There's one way up there, but I think that's the hex that's 2 away from me. Right. Oh, it might be this one. Jeez, I don't know if I'm gonna get up there. I can try. It's pretty high up. Oh, the deeper classes require a lot more XP. Gotcha. So when do I get mobility upgrades? Is that pretty much just Skells? Ah, that feels pretty good to jump to, though. Come on, you can totally make that. Yeah, I assumed that was the case. That was how it was in Xenoblade Chronicles. No! I can't stop running! Oh my god. Alright, so I need to, like, turn sprint off after I jump. There we go. So they can jump up to some of these locations. Is that the only other thing that governs your ability to move on the map? Like, can you actually upgrade the Skell's mobility too, or it's like a difference between having a Skell or not having a Skell? I think I just got hit a gem in it. So my first thing with a gem, does that work the same as the gems in Xenoblade Chronicles 1? Holy shit. That's just because I'm a higher level and can equip the thing? It was a gigantic upgrade whenever I took there. All that to get plus 10 accuracy. No, I'm good. Whee. Are all of the divisions potential sources of unlimited XP? Oh nice, level 2 mechanical. I'm curious because I feel like there's only so much wreckage in the world that you can interact with, right? And it doesn't respawn. Level 60, enemies go to 99. I see. Oh, is this like moving water? Can't move faster than it, presumably. I guess not. Okay. Worth checking. Prospector's always top of the leaderboard. Okay. So level 40 guy in the bridge seems like he is trying to be there to make it harder for you to cross. Are there stealth skills in this game? Like, is there a way to avoid detection by enemies that depend on sight or sound? Reminds me of Final Fantasy XI. I loved running around the map in areas that were too high for me in 11 way back in the day. Should try to see if there's a beacon here. Across that hill. Yep, totally is. Sneaking around the map in 11 was really hard. Super fun though. I'd play a game that's mostly that actually. I have these really fond memories of trying to sneak through like level 50 zones at level 1 so I could get to a teleport point so I could always work back there in the future or to visit a town or something. I wonder if you could make a big open world stealth game like that. Augments reduce your aggro radius. That's cool. We're making it past that guy. Pretty narrow area. He can't see terribly well. Hey, look at that shitty vision cone hype. Living the dream. Yeah, I'm getting level ups from Discovery XP, that's sweet. What the hell? Really? Good God. Okay. Well, that happened. This thing looked like a Sin Spawn from Final Fantasy X. Alright, let's try it again. We need to go... Oh wow, I guess that was a landmark that I just discovered. Well, that's convenient. Basically respawned me right where I died. It's on top of this ridge here. Right. Guys are site base. Come on. You can do it. There you go. Switch to another character to get them to die. I could try to run for it. I might not be able to get past this guy. Is there any way for me to know what their vision range is? I thought they all just kind of followed the same vision rules, but it's not. You keep looking away. I didn't realize they would. Hey, look at that. Living the dream. And it's level 1. Oh, that's cool. So when you find one of those, it reveals stuff about all the adjacent. So there's a little icon on the gamepad here. I'll see if I can put it up to the screen. Working. So it's the one that's not a... That's funny. Green screen. It's one that looks like it has like a star on it. It's not one of the probes. So like... This one right here. What the heck is that? Anyone knows? Just trying to climb this mountain here. That was really fun, getting around that guy. Satisfying. Hex objective is a treasure. Like there's one thing to do. Interesting, like one of the little yellow squares is what you're talking about, right? There's got a land bridge over there, that's cool. You go scope that out. This is by far my favorite part of this game so far, just running around the map trying to avoid enemies. Page means normal quest, handshake means affinity quest. Can I see the handshake? And the star means find a treasure. Whoa. There's actually another player? Huh. Right on. So this is like summoning an NPC version of another player. Do they happen to be in my same squad or something? That's cool. That's a really neat concept. Whoa, these things are huge and they're drinking. Thirsty boys. Drinking grass? I don't think he's supposed to be standing here. That's funny. Yeah, I didn't want to look around and find the other party members. I might do it later. I'm not planning on fighting anybody at the moment. Just exploring. Looking, there should be another... It's crazy that we're up here, like we just barely found a jumping path to climb up really high, because we're super high compared to the city. Oh wow, yeah, that's the city. How close that moon is too. That's a really sweet view. You get a feel for how big that thing is all along. It's pretty awesome. Cool. Pretty big ship. I think they must have brought way fewer people than I thought they did. Yeah, that's cool. Whoa, big brachiosauruses. Alright, let's go this way. Yay for no falling damage. Good job, game. Alright, so there should be a beacon here somewhere. It's a wide, flat area. I should be able to see it already, right? You can see them from pretty far. You can go to everything you can see. Oh, there it is. I see it. That's super cool. I really like the giant creatures. Oh, wow. I instinctively reached over to hit F5 on the keyboard when I saw those giant creatures. Got a quick save. Yeah, it does some entity loading stuff that's fancy. What level do I need for this? 3. What am I doing on that? 25. Almost there. Yeah. This is interesting, like the smallest creatures actually pop in. You have to be pretty close to them to get to pop in at all, which is an interesting strategy. Picking up the little crystals is the most efficient thing XP-wise. I only got 10 for surveying that. Yeah, right? It's like, Bethesda kind of struggles with that sometimes too, I feel like. They're really great at world design. What the hell? They're really great at world design, but they like struggle with character design and making a polished, bugless game. That seems like a really good way to describe this, though. Is there a way for me to reconnect easily, or no? See a little offline button in the corner. Oh, this zone is super low level. This must have been around where I first spawned at the beginning of the game. Oh, there's actually another... There's a probe in the far southwest corner. Let me go try to get it. When they were scouting out and they found me in the little stasis pod at the beginning. This must have been where it was. Save, go to the title to reconnect. Alright, I'll give it a try really quick. Not that the online stuff is terribly important at the moment. You said that my squad members doing stuff is helping me out in some way, though? Sorry. I think to get to the title screen, there we go. Yes, yes. Yeah, it's not 100% true in Breath of the Wild, right? Because they've got the mountain range that borders the map that you can't make it to. There's a couple invisible walls in the desert. How do they handle that? Like, there's got to be edges to the map. Miiverse has ended. Such a bummer. What's the stuff that's in the Nintendo eShop that's on the title screen there? Okay, so I would do friend squads, like if I knew for a fact that I had stream viewers that were playing this game at the same time, for example. Oh, so everything is surrounded by ocean. Okay, that's cool. There's no interesting terrain you can see but can't reach. Gotcha. I guess it's kind of the same with Breath of the Wild then. Like, the walls that border the edges of the map aren't particularly interesting. There's no features on them. And, can you still pick up those little collectibles in the Skell? I'm wondering if I should, next time, try to double down on unlocking the Skell, you know? Back up some mountain. Some invisible ceiling. Makes sense. Has a bigger pickup radius. Oh wow. Yeah. Can I get a Skell right now? Or no? Is it too expensive? Oh, swimming is so slow. I'm not gonna do the story. Okay. I have a feeling this isn't going to end well for me. I'm watching the map and I'm not making a lot of movement. I'll try to swim around and see what I can find, but I can always warp. It's looking hairy. Skell's just like skim over top of it. That's nice. I don't see any way up. Looks like there's like an inlet, if I'm looking on the map really close here, that's straight ahead for me. I got distracted. I think Andrea called me right when we were looking up the auto run button. We say it was RB. No, it's good. Toggle auto run. Thank you. This is a dead end, unfortunately. Bummer. But it doesn't sprint by default. Okay, I understand how it works now. Maybe I can climb up on the back of this tail thing. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna warp. I can't jump out of the water, right? I can only really get back onto land from a beach, presumably. Like the one that's right over there. I could try using that beach, maybe. So like I can't get on this, sweet. I wonder if it's too steep for me to climb. It's pretty awesome. That's pretty neat. This is super cool. I'm glad they let me do this. Oh, come on, let me get all the way up. There's the beacon I'm looking for, I think. Whoa! That's awesome. I saw this thing from really far away in the water, and I did not expect to be able to climb it. It's really, really cool. That's the beacon I need. Is there anything else cool I can get that's up here, though, while I'm all the way up here? After all that swimming. Just for context, the thing I just climbed, holy crap, it's awesome. That's cool. Points to Xenoblade Chronicles. Yeah, I feel like, I wonder if what you want to do, I see like there's a lot of developers that have very particular strengths. Like, could you already have devs who are really good at making engines, so this is really cool. So you make an engine, and then you can license it out to people. I'd love to see somebody like, you know, Monolith, make a world map, and then license it out to devs to fill with content. I feel like there's a lot of reinventing of the wheel that happens. Among game developers. I feel like you can have multiple devs develop different content for the same world, right? In different games. Yes, looks like where I started the game, so everyone's so low level.
Let's keep it up.
Cool. Alright, we got another one to scope out over here. I think the load screen is really fast in this game. And how huge the world is and how fast you can move through it. Like, Breath of the Wild has a really, really long load screen, and it tends to hiccup when you're moving slightly slower than the move speed in this one. And you said Skells are even faster, right? Far Cry Primal uses... I didn't actually know that Far Cry Primal used the same map as Far Cry 4. Yeah, people need to chill. Really, for serious, people need to chill. Like, one of the greatest Zelda games of all time is basically an asset remix. It's like basically an official Nintendo ROM hack of Ocarina of Time. So demanding that developers are always making brand new, fresh content. I don't think it's necessary. You can afford to calm down a bit, you know? This is tons of fun. I'm really enjoying myself just running around the map fighting probes. Oh no, I'm not talking about you, Leo. I'm saying people that complained. Oops. How are we doing on blade level? Almost. We're getting there. Seriously though, folks, people gotta chill. Especially gamers. Ours is among the most entitled communities on Earth, I would say. I know, right, Chaos? People were saying that they should make a Breath of the Wild, like a Majora's Mask for Breath of the Wild. Use the same engine. You could even probably get away with using the same map and it would still be really cool. Just repopulate it with lots of different stuff. I would play the shit out of that, man. No joke. Alright, so this is the place where I was confused as to the beacon location. I don't think it's above me. Which tells me it's probably in a cave somewhere. Which tells me I should probably... You know, I bet you it's by that yellow square. My current guess is that it's directly below me. It could also be on this giant fucking rock that's above me. God. I can't tell. There's no elevation indicator for objects, right? It's just gray if it's not on the same elevation as you currently. Yeah, I do a Master Quest too, even if it's not Majora's Mask level remix. Yeah, right? Just added as like a DLC even. Mm-hmm. I could see them doing, it would be really cool to do an open world dungeon, right? Like a set of dungeons that are all technically outside. There have been a couple outdoor dungeons in Zelda history and they could do it really well in that setting, I feel like. An engine. Yeah, the time limit was stressful. I remember even if you use the inverted Song of Time to slow time down, you're still likely going to get in trouble with the time limit in the last dungeon. If you're playing it blind. I get up there so bad! Should be able to. This game has taught me I can generally jump shenanigan to most places. Hey! Getting there. Nice! Haha! Oh, that feels good. That's fun. Neat. Wait, is this the... No, okay, it's a different thing. There's a level 2 treasure, though. That's cool. So, now that we're up here... Can I keep climbing onto that? So you're saying this giant rock thing that's extending over the roof, I can climb on that? That's insane. I don't even know where I would begin to try to climb it. Yeah, I can hear that, Spiky. Yeah, so just as a general rule, all of my backseating rules are suspended if having to repeat content to the extent that you would have to repeat it in Majora's Mask is a consequence for failure. Please don't let me do that in the name of not spoiling stuff. Holy shit, this game's crazy. This might be one of those things. Can Skells fly directly upward then? It's a really big tree. It's fucking crazy, man. How big this thing is. Yeah, it's a little bit too vertical. I don't think it's happening. Unless if this connects somewhere over here that has a more... See what it looks like over here and then I'll warp. Oh, there's a flight module in the game. Hey, it's a rainbow. Okay, I don't think there's a way to get up there, so I'm gonna try checking below. This is my last chance to get this particular one, I think. Am I able to move across the continents right now? Like, are there, like, bridges or something to lead to them? Or is that... Let's do so. Oh. Well, I'm dead. Try going somewhere else right now. This has become too much of a pain in the ass to be feasible, I feel like. We'll try this one. Am I able to start harvesting stuff from the probes yet? Is there a character I have to talk to do that? Okay. That's the thing that I want to get at. I think I've been up there before. I'm not super sure though. Try another warp really quick. Beach, so maybe that's not okay. These load times are pretty wild. It's outside here. Let's try going east. No, it's still on the beach. How's about here, maybe? There's a quest in town that teaches you how probes work. So I'm not getting benefits from them until I go do that. Alright, I'll go do that real quick. May as well start the story mission as well. Oh, it is harvesting, I just can't collect it yet? Okay, that's good to know. That sort of stuff, like, I need to do it sooner rather than later to get passive rewards for the whole game. It's good to know as well. Progress requirements, not met. Oh, it actually requires... The exploration I'm doing right now is required. That's cute. So I need to do Blade level basics and the Probe-fessional. How do I find those? I don't think I have like a mission guide to mark stuff, do I? What's the other one that I needed? Probe-fessional? Is that the one that I'm actually trying to do right now that I just came back for? Yes. It's like outside. Yeah, but my problem is knowing whether a quest is stupid bullshit or it like unlocks something really important. I had that problem in Xenoblade Chronicles. They both look like quests. Is it bare asses and they give me $10, or does it unlock a key mechanic for the entire game? Thank you. One of my favorite changes in all of Final Fantasy XIV history is they added something that makes it so quests that unlock functionality have a different icon. And, oh man, it makes that game so much easier to navigate. Because I can always, like, passively just randomly complete a mission by having the item that they want without knowing it. Thank you. Don't care. I learned not to care from Xenoblade Chronicles. If there is a town quest that I should be reading the dialogue for, let me know. I'm usually not a dialogue skipper, but those kinds of... Oh my god, I need... Okay, you need bare asses. Got it. Shut up. I'm fine. Yes. No, what's Violet Evergarden? Different types of data probes. Oh, okay. Mining probe, research probe. Okay. Yes. Alright, that's cool. How do I get more of these probes, since they look like they're a consumable item? Alright. Well, some kind of world chests. Ah, so it's a good reason to pay attention to the world chests. Oh, is this something I do from the map here? Change probe. Let's see. I didn't have to warp out. I understand. They're currently doing research, I guess, by default. And they're linked nodes. Alright, that's a cool mechanic. You guys can't see what I'm doing right now, unfortunately. But I'm on my screen here to kind of show you real quick. I'm linking the nodes. It shows me all of those probes that I've spent this session finding, and I can tap on them and say that I want them to be for mining or for research or whatever. And since I have several mining nodes, I'm going to do that for several of them here. Hive chain effect, plus 50%. It's cute. Alright, so that's done. Talk back to Kirsty. So I could have done all of that while being right in front of Kirsty, right? Oh, I'm super close to the blade level up. Let me just do that before we leave. If I can find more little... How often do the world map items respawn? No, I don't want this to show. How do I get this to not show the mining feature anymore? And now it just shows them all linked without showing me the details of each hex. Yeah, collectibles. The ones that I get for being a curator. super duper close. 29-20. Nice. Time it loads an area, they all respawn? Really? Didn't seem right earlier. I believe you, but... This area is cool. So it's just a separate zone than Primordia. So close. Blade level up. Get hype. Actually saw the pop up that time. I'm trying to turn off. I've got like a. Oh, maybe I've got it now. There we go. I'll fix it. Attack the admin district, please. Place your Skell on top of a, like, you find like a cluster of collectibles. I see, and every time you warp, they reload. That's super cheesy. It's funny.
Did you actually?
I didn't mean to boast. But I like hot butter on my breakfast toast. Up to 50%. Oh, okay. I got it. The Rock Cavern. Alright. So this is still part of the Probe-fessional challenge. Alright. I'm gonna roll up and get my second mechanical skill point, and then I think we're done. Okay. What's the maximum skill level for each of the three? The mechanical, biological, and archaeological?
Which skill? Come back soon.
So since we're discounting this game and the launch stream went over by about 5 hours, I think that's probably a good stopping point rather than running around some more. So we can go ahead and call it there. Going from 4 to 5 is a different process. So you can't cap all of them, or you get more points and higher blade levels or something. Sweet. Thank you everyone for hanging out. As always, I'll give you an update on what's coming up for the rest of this week, and for next week, we'll find someone to throw a host to. If anyone has a host idea, feel free to speak up in chat if you know someone who's streaming.